Welcome in, welcome in. Home live again. Little late on this, live stream, Dan, but we made it. And we're gonna be let's introduce what we're gonna do today. We'll probably talk some Dynasty for 15 minutes. So even if that doesn't really interest you too much, maybe you can still apply this to whatever it's still an interesting topic. Talking about receivers. I know the receivers are the hot topic in underdog as well with like the wide receiver avalanche and basically needing to draft them in like your first 3 4 rounds, otherwise you're behind the ball. So we'll definitely be talking about that, and then we'll hop into a best ball mania draft, hopefully become millionaires. And we've already drafted the first, second, and third overall placement teams in the best ball mania, so we gotta draft the fourth overall one now. But yeah, so
I think this is a topic that is relevant to both underdog and dynasty. I mean, it's all about the wide receiver right now. Of course, people love to build their dynasty teams around wide receiver. And if you're in any of these underdog drafts, it's the wide receiver avalanche. Like everyone's trying to get the receivers, try not to fall behind on wide receivers. And so it's an interesting topic to dive into. And I've been seeing a number of YouTube videos about this recently over the past week or so. And it's kind of like this idea of this like wide receiver bubble, and that like can like all of these wide receivers pan out. I mean, it's really kind of impossible if you think about it. I mean, there are so many wide receivers in Dynasty that are like valued at like a second round pick or higher, and Dynasty Trades in 5 was talking about this in their live stream. So thought this would just be an interesting topic to kind of jump into, kind of react to that. And yeah, I mean, kind of like, what's your take on this? I mean, is the bubble about to burst here with putting this much value into wide receiver, specifically with Dynasty?
I mean, I love that you brought it up because, like, I haven't heard personally anyone talking about this, but a lot of trades I've been making and moves I've been making in Dynasty Dan have reflected this, whether I've been, like, consciously thinking about it or not. But, I mean, I don't own, like, if we went on to Keep Trade Cut, which I did have pulled up, there's a gap of receiver that I don't own in, like, my 12 leagues. I don't own a single guy, except for we mark out Jalen Polk and, like, Jermaine Burton. Like, I don't know any young receiver that's, like, not productive. Like, it's just, I mean, that's more so when we're talking this bubble. The Jameson Williams is, like, a big name. Romeo Dobbs, like, I mean, literally insert, like, 30 names. There's so many of these guys, and, every owner's different. People will pay a second for one guy, and other people, like, won't even be interested, like, at all. Like, they'll tell you to kick rocks for that. So, I think this whole topic, for me, like, what's really worth, like, a second, we think right now there's, X amount of players worth that. And I think we're gonna get a kick to the stomach here, or balls, when we get in season. And your Jameson Williams, he's earned 6 targets through 3 games. And insert other player. I'm trying to stay away from that bubble. I'll let you talk a little bit about it, Dan. Like, what are your thoughts on this whole topic?
Yeah, I mean, there does seem to be kind of a saturation of wide receivers, just in football right now in the NFL, and in Dynasty specifically. And it does kind of feel like, obviously, like, not everyone's going to work out. So, yeah. I mean, this is the time of year to get off of some of that risk, while you can, before the season starts and the bullets start flying and points start being scored or not scored in some cases. So, I mean, I think up to this point, I think one of the things that we've discussed on this channel a lot is, like, getting off those roster cloggers. And most of them are, like, pretty obvious, like, the Jameson Williams, Treylon Burks, Jalen Hyatt, like those kind of guys. Like, those are all, like, pretty obvious, that you want to get off of players like that as much as possible for most type of, like, standard dynasty leagues. But I think kind of like the idea that's kind of being circulated a little bit right now, both not only on Dynasty Trades in 5, but also on Pure Potential, which is another YouTube channel that we've become fans of recently. And in their most recent video, I believe it was their most recent one. I just saw it the other day, and it was basically like talking about his strategy for rebuilding. Um, and one of the things that he was talking about is, I think it was one of the first points he brought up in the video, is sort of like this that he likes to de-emphasize like non-rookie young receivers.
Yes. Yeah.
And so like the topic came up of like not only like JSN, who we know is kind of like a big like kind of polarizing and
Yeah.
controversial and kind of hard to value young wide receiver, but even beyond JSN, I believe the topic came up of like Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers and Tank Dell and like Jaden Reed, like those guys.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because specifically like those four players, excluding JSN, but those other four wide receivers, those are wide receivers that I personally have been very high on this offseason. And I've been interested in buying shares of those wide receivers because frankly, I think that they all had really great or at least really good rookie seasons and have gone underappreciated and undervalued. And it's kind of like this thing where it's like, the standard has been raised so high by like, Puka Nakua that it's like, okay, well, if you didn't get 1,500 yards as a rookie, then, pass. I just want to like, re-roll and try to find like the next big thing. But I think it's like gone too far. And I think that those other guys had really good rookie seasons and they could get better. I mean, that's usually what happens. I mean, I feel like their rookie seasons were good enough and encouraging enough that like I can project growth and improvement, and I feel like they should only get better. I mean, not that all four of them are guaranteed to do that, but I feel like I can feel pretty good about like the outlook of those guys moving forward, and that if I'm building or let's say even say like rebuilding, and I mean those are wide receivers that I personally want to build around. But I know that might be kind of a minority opinion in the Dynasty community right now. And I always had kind of like, scoffed at that a little bit. But I think this recent episode from Pure Potential did kind of raise some interesting points about like, there still is risk that like the market isn't high on those like four wide receivers. Yeah. And it's like if they kind of like plateau in their second year or even like disappoint a little bit, then like what is the market going to do with them? You know what I mean? Like if they're already kind of lukewarm on them, then they could really be out at them at that point. And then they're just kind of like this kind of like fringe, startable wide receiver that the market isn't too excited about and could kind of become stuck on your roster and tough to trade. So I thought that was an interesting point. So what's your reaction to that?
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned those guys exactly. I've kind of found myself like being torn in both directions with that argument because, there are some legit, like none of those guys, I mean, actually there's really like no receivers added to any of those rooms except for Tank Dell, which like Diggs is on a 1-year contract. He obviously, he restructured and, whether this whole Diggs situation is really hard to decipher. Like no one really knows that Texans room. So Tank Dell is kind of like a really interesting guy. I'll say I'm just kind of like at market with Tank Dell. I don't think he's like a very clear buy or sell. But the other guys, I completely understand where like there can be some fear with like holding these guys on your team. I just don't think they truly have the potential to, like be in that bubble of, we really saw that they were talented NFL receivers. Nothing particularly has changed in their situation. I mean, of course, Addison lost Kirk Cousins, but I can still project these guys. Like, there's still room for these guys to grow. I'm not necessarily scared of any of those receivers, but it's when we get down lower, you don't have to scroll very long from your Jaden Reeds until you get to, I don't know. Then you're seeing your Jameson Williams and stuff. What I will mention is like going through this list. The only young guys that I will roster, and this is how I'm playing this like little bubble, is I'll either take my shot on the rookie receiver, or I'm just moving on. Like I'm trying to swap them into any of these other names, like veterans. But let's take a look at this other page here and just like see what we have. So this is where this bubble truly is. You get your Jerry Judys and stuff like these guys. We talk all the time about like replaceable players or wins above replacement. These are like, I mean, these got to be the guys for like replaceable players, right?
Mhm.
I mean, these guys like are truly like roster cloggers on your team, especially if you're not playing in like a start 10 or something. I mean, maybe if you're to start 14, they're useful.
Right.
I just don't really care about any of these players. So my reaction to that is I'm fine investing in your Jordan Addison tier, Tank Dell. Anything below that, if they've been playing, I don't really care for them, and I'm probably trying to move on to them and like turn them into a rookie receiver, picks whatever. I'm trying to attack it a different way, or maybe through running back a different position. Yeah, I don't know. Give me the mystery box, or I don't want you. Like if you're one of these young unproductive guys.
Yeah.
And then what I will point out is like you're seeing all these names of guys that like just aren't really scoring points. As much as we like Jahan Dotson, like he truly could just be he's also part of that tier and he could be literally nothing.
Yeah.
Here's two outliers I want to point out in this like outside of this or kind of in this bubble of the Quentin Johnson as a perfect little bubble guy is DeAndre Hopkins and Jacoby Myers, which are like wide receivers 63 and 65. I think they're both like top 24 receivers. I don't really care about their age at all. Like I think D Hop's literally the James Conner receiver, and Jacoby Myers, whatever other player comp would be. But these are the guys that like you can just pay your little pennies for. You can give up your Jameson Williams for, and get your DeAndre Hopkins, and I think you'll be extremely happy in season with it. But yeah, I mean, basically what I'm trying to say is like this huge bubble of receivers that are just unproductive. We've already seen who they are. I mean, Josh Downs, like guys like that. I get it. Like, maybe one or two of these guys might break out and become, oh, I wish I got that guy. But like, do we really know who that is? Is it Jahan Dotson? Is it Dontavian Wicks? Is it Romeo Dobbs? Like, we don't know. And there's really no way to know. I mean, you're right. Like, again, all these guys are talented receivers. I mean, I think that's like the biggest point. They're talented receivers. We all know that. No one's denying that. There's just so many talented receivers. There can only be so many productive fantasy
exactly.
receivers.
So I think the idea is just kind of like move off the risk, and if you can like down tier from kind of like one of these I don't know what you want to call them, like bubble receivers or
just like pivot anywhere. You don't have to like go down or it doesn't have to be a specific way, but you can go any other direction to a different position, like whatever it is, but continue.
But just move off the risk. But I mean, I think one of the ideas that was proposed, I believe in the Pure Potential episode, is talking about like if you down tier from one of like Jaden Reed, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, those types, and you get back a player that could give you like similar production but doesn't have similar dynasty value, and then get like a pick on top of it. So like if you were down tiering from Zay Flowers, could you get Romeo Dobbs plus a first, something like that?
I mean, So I mean, you bring that up. I mean, I would just in general, like you tell me what you say. Like, I would generally like I do like moves like that, but in this situation, I mean, sure, if you can get a first in Romeo Dobbs, like that's just not realistic to like the formats we play in, Dan. Like, would you agree?
Probably, yeah.
Like to ask for a random 25 first or even late for Zay Flowers, like people like Flowers, but you, like good luck getting anything really on top of that.
Okay, so I mean, maybe if it was a first, it's kind of a slam dunk move that you couldn't pass. Even though I'm high on, again, I've been high on those receivers, and I might still be. I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring this out. We're kind of figuring this out live here, but and I'm being open minded to new ideas, and I don't necessarily have everything all figured out, and if I'm wrong on something, I'm going to change my opinion. I'm not going to just be like having take lock and whatever. But let's say, okay, I think you're right because the market is kind of down on those four receivers a little bit. what if? I mean, yeah.
What if it
What
was
if?
like Jaden Reed for Dobbs and like I don't know, I guess like Dobbs in a second or something.
Yeah,
I don't know if
exactly.
that's like
What if it's a second instead of a first? So you're getting
yeah.
like down in a second. Yeah, down
Because
tiers
like
and
you already can't get a first for like Jaden Reed, so like I know like if
yeah,
you're like oh I'll just take the other Packers receiver in a second. I mean I
yeah.
totally understand that move. Like what do you think? Do you like what would you say in that trade? Would you what side
I
would
mean,
you lean to?
I definitely don't feel excited about it because I guess the way I'm thinking about it is that Jaden Reed could take a step this year in
Yeah,
his second season and be worth a lot more than that. Because I think for all four of these receivers that we're talking about here, Dell, Flowers, Addison, Reed, specifically that we're kind of focusing on here, they're kind of at this pivot point in their second season where they had a promising,
yeah,
good rookie season, even if the dynasty community is kind of a little unimpressed by it. But they really did have good rookie seasons, and so now they're at this like pivotal point where it's like I think their second season is going to determine a lot with just kind of like the trajectory of if not their career, like at least like their dynasty value and how
yeah,
like the dynasty value is going to perceive them. So, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about them taking that leap in their second season and being worth more than a first. But yeah, it could go the other way. And so I think that's what some of these videos that I've been alluding to have discussed is that like kind of this idea that like not everyone can succeed. There's just too many wide
yeah,
receivers. So are you better just kind of making those down tier trades for those type of guys and getting
yeah,
off that risk, insulating it with like a pick, like a second or
yeah.
certainly a first if you can get it, and then getting a wide receiver that should give you, close to the production possibly of the guy you're down tiering from. I can see the wisdom in that, but at the same time, it does feel like I'm, passing up on a lot of upside.
Yeah.
And, I think another thing that's happening recently in the dynasty market is that it's getting like tougher and tougher to trade for studs, to trade for those war difference makers. Because I think as we get
Yeah.
this saturation, people are like holding tighter onto their stud receivers
Yeah.
and just players in general. And it's getting like tougher and tougher to pry those guys away, even if you're willing to, put together a nice package, maybe even overpay a little bit. It's still tough to get that done.
Yeah.
And so then if that's the case, it kind of leaves me asking them, well, if I'm a rebuilder, how am I going to get studs onto my team? Because I need some studs. I need
Yeah.
some more difference makers to eventually win a championship. And one way to do that is to be willing to make some of these bets. Let me buy
Exactly.
up the Tank
Yeah.
Dells and Jaden Reeds and everything like that. And let me hope that one or two of these guys hits. And then I might have the next stud,
Yeah.
So,
I think you're right about that, like in the sense because if you down tier from inserts second year, like had a really good rookie season receiver that's obviously can take a step, or maybe their situation just gets like better, like out of the blue that like we something we can't expect, like an injury or whatever. I mean, I can say that about any player, but like let's just
yeah,
say like Diggs is dust or something, and then all
yeah,
of a sudden it's like holy crap, like we should have got Tank Dell, whatever.
right.
But like there's certainly upside on those guys. The thing that's important is like we've seen them produce at like whatever top 24, top 30. Like people hang on to that for a really long time. If something happens when like they're injured or whatever it is, like they're really not going to lose that much value. Whereas like if you pass up that opportunity to have like a second year breakout like that, and you go down into that wide receiver bubble and you like down tier whatever, like Addison into like Downs and like I think like the I don't know, people like think Downs is worth like a mid second. Like I just can't believe that. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
I'd be hesitant to say he's like worth like a mid third. Like you know what I mean? Like in this draft class, like
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys where
you
it's
know
like what the owners want for that player
yeah,
is like at least one round higher than what any buyer out there is going to want to pay. So it's like
yeah.
owners want a second, but buyers are
Dude.
like, okay, maybe I'll give you a third.
If
And it's just
you
like, and then you never see those guys traded.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I had advice for anyone, if you had owned literally Josh Downs specifically, Romeo Dobbs, Jerry Judy, insert player name, like I don't care. I mean, it sucks because like Downs is a second year guy. He had a solid rookie season, but I just don't care. At that point, to just put it quite frank, like I get he's a good receiver, and I actually really like to I think he's a really capable route runner and all that stuff, but I mean, there's only so much upside for him. We've seen him like with like a more capable passer like Gardner Minshew, and and even Pittman banged up for a couple games. Dude, just move on. Like, just get a second for any of those guys. Like, you know what I mean? And good luck trying to do that. Like, I just don't think your league mates, like if you're playing like a money league, I just don't think they're gonna give you like just a random second for any of those guys.
Yeah, but see,
I would throw stuff in to get that second.
But see, here's the interesting thing, though, how this like all connects.
Yeah.
Is that, the idea being kind of put out there is like, okay, we'll down tier from like Jordan Addison and get, Josh Downs plus a pick or, Romeo Doubs plus a pick. And then those same guys like Downs and Dobbs, it's like, okay, well, they're not that exciting. So like, then move on to them for like
you move on them for dust.
Or I mean, certainly a second if you can get it, smash that. But so if you do that down tier, if you decide, you know what, I'm going to take this advice. I'm going to like clear off of Jaden Reed and I'm going to get, Romeo Dobbs in a second.
Yeah.
And then it's okay. Well, then now am I satisfied with Dobbs, or am I just saying like, okay, now I want to get off with Dobbs because I don't really believe in him either. So okay, let's say I can get 2/3 for Dobbs, or maybe I'm lucky enough to get a second. Okay, I can't pass up a second, so I take that. And then now you're just down to picks. So then,
now you just trade 2 seconds. It's
starting to sound like a perpetual rebuild.
Yeah,
so
you
like,
just sent Addison for like 2 seconds, and then like now you're like, dude, wait, hold on. Like if I take 2 shots or whatever, like if I try to send those 2 seconds back for Addison, like that owner's like declining that, whatever it is, right? Like I just don't like it. If you're gonna do it, I think you have to do it for rookie receiver. Get insert whatever receiver you like. Whatever.
Let's take it someone. Let's say Jermaine Burton, because that's a rookie receiver that we like.
Yeah, he's in here, right beside Dobbs.
Second.
Yeah. So here's how I'm moving off Jaden Reed. By the way, this is perfect. Yeah. And this is what I did. Here's the answer to our question here. Okay. You don't move off of like, or you either replace the pick or the Burton Dobbs with a productive receiver. So the way I did it with Jaden Reed was on like just a competitive roster with a lot of future draft capital, like legitimate contender, a lot of capital. I went from Jaden Reed into Mike Evans, who is projected to outscore Jaden Reed. Who knows?
Yeah.
All he has to do is outscore him for me to feel really good about the trade for this next season. And I get Jermaine Burton on top. So I get Evans and Burton for Jaden Reed.
Yeah.
The bet is that Evans outscores or is like very similar in production, and then Burton can close the gap between Jaden Reed.
He gives you some of that youth and upside, and he allows you to kind of like take a shot while still getting the security of a productive veteran like Evans. So I do like that trade for a contender. But the question is, this discussion was sort of, we started this in the context of like rebuilding.
Oh, okay.
Certainly that's what the Pure Potential episode was about. So let's say you're a rebuilder and you have Jaden Reed on your team.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I mean, that's a guy, at least prior to, watching these YouTube videos, that's a guy like, hey, I want to build around that guy. I'm going to make a bet on him taking a step forward in his second season. I'm going to bet against the market because I believe in this player. But I know you're not as big on Jaden Reed as I am. So if you, Blake, own Jaden Reed on a rebuilder right now, what are you looking to do? Are you going to make that bet and hope he's good, or are you going to tear off of him?
You don't tear down, is what I'll say. Okay, what you do is like you don't settle for the second unless you can get like a very clear win of like, let's just say it's let's just say, so it's Jaden Reed. I don't know. Let's just say it's Ricky Pearsall in a second, okay? And you're like, okay, I like Pearsall. I think he's like close in value, but like the second does it. But what you don't do is you don't do like Burton in a second. In my opinion, it's close, but like if you like, I really like Burton. But the reason I don't do that is because you have a player already worth a first. You go and you find a way to get a first. So Dan, you're in a league where I had JSN. And let's just say it's the same thing. I mean, I would rather have Jaden Reed over JSN. But instead of me trying to get a second and something, I was adamant about getting my first. You know, a first that can, like, that first can truly be, whatever, like a mid or who knows, maybe it's early. Like,
maybe it's, you get lucky.
That's how you move off your upside bet on a Jaden Reed You find the way. I threw in like Heaton Mitchell and like Trey Palmer pre-draft and like a third or something, right? Like I just chuck crap at the wall. It won't work for every manager, but like maybe you got to give up like maybe you got to add Jamison Williamson to get that
right.
first, and you're like, hey, this could be like a mid. Dude, just like chuck it in. Just throw it in.
So even if you're like overpaying on value, but honestly, at the end of the day, you're just kind of chucking in some garbage to make it look good and make it seem better on keep trade cut.
Yeah, you got to go extremely aggressive for the ones. There's such a difference, between the ones and the twos there, and the difference between like Jermaine Burton, who we really like, is just like not enough for me to be like, oh, okay, I'll settle for a 2. No, I want a 1 that, maybe the guy it's his quarterback injured. Like we know fantasy is crazy, and maybe I luck into like literally, I just traded Jaden Reed into the 103 next year or something. Like and crazier things have happened. So.
Okay, so I mean, I understand.
Yeah,
I think that's a good point. Because I do see the upside of pushing for that random first and just kind of hoping to get lucky. There's definitely a lot to be said for that. You've had great success for that with that strategy in your dynasty leagues, so I can certainly attest to that from what I've seen. But what if you strike out on that? What if that random first ends up being mid or late and like whatever? Then like what are you doing at that point? I mean, are you just like constantly like re-rolling that until like you hit on an early pick? Or I mean, at some point you got to make a bet on someone or something, right? Because like I feel like the dynasty community is just like afraid to like make a bet on something and take a stance on something.
That's right, but like if you let's just say you just tore your team down. This is how I play it, and like. For example, I was just flashing in my head there. I actually made this trade on a team. I actually traded Tank Dell in season 1 week or 2 weeks before he broke his leg or whatever. And it's funny, like you think I had won this trade. It was a guy like literally in 6th or 7th place that like had such a bad team, like, and I traded just straight up first. I didn't ask for anything else. First for Tank Dell. I thought I was just like cashing out the 105 or 106. This guy, like, I don't know how he won the league, like, and I traded Tank down for the 112. Here's the thing: the worst thing, it wasn't even the worst trade in the world. Now, okay, I mean, yeah, sure, I would much rather have Tank Dell, but I mean, if I was the 105 versus like Tank Dell, which is what there was, I mean, literally maybe like 1 week bounces, differently, like week 14 or whatever. He's out of the playoffs. Gives me that pick instead of winning the league. So. I mean, I'm willing to make that bet all day. That's what happened to me in there. But
so just to finish that thought, okay, so you lost that bet.
Yeah. It wasn't the worst loss in the world. Like you can only lose it so bad because maybe you get the 112.
If the worst case scenario is the 112, okay, it's a little bit of a loss, but you can live with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that specific league, what did you do with that 112? And give us a little more context. Like, off season, is that team a rebuilder or a contender?
This is when I still have 4 firsts, but I have like a pretty like somewhat competitive team, like a really young core. It's actually like my most like undecided roster that I have.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate to this.
This is truly like a roster where it's just like it's really hard to buy the vets. I think I ended up actually just like getting my only what's his name there Brooks share. A 112. He was just sitting there.
Oh, so you spent it on Jonathan Brooks, and did you make that pick pretty quickly, or were you looking for trade offers? Like, what would you have wanted to do with that 112 in a perfect world? Realistically.
I mean, if I turned that into Lad McConkey, like, okay, I traded Tank down for Lad McConkey. I mean, that's not the greatest trade, but like, I mean, I would be. I mean, that doesn't sound that bad at the end of the day. Like for me, really losing that trade. Where, that pick could have been Rome Odunze or Brock Bowers or something for Tank Dell. So, that's what I did. I mean, there was a lot of context. I had a bunch of firsts in that league, and I got Jaden Daniels and some other guys. So.
Now, what if there was a offer on the clock? Yeah. Someone was offering you a random 25 firsts from kind of like a ambiguous team, like could contend, but, some things could go wrong, and then maybe there's a little upside for it to be a little earlier, mid, whatever. But just call it a totally random 25 first. And someone's offering you that straight up on the clock for your 112. that you gambled on and you traded away Dell for it. It didn't work out.
Oh, I'm smashing
Would you have taken a random 25th?
Yeah, I'll at that point, especially with that team, like,
Yeah.
if I'm a competitor, it's different, and if I really think Brooks, I'm not the biggest Brooks guy, but I certainly see the upside. But
yeah,
I mean, honestly, I'm just rolling it again at that point because like.
Okay, so you couldn't you couldn't
if it
find
was
that
if it was
on the clock.
yeah, oh no, I couldn't find that offer.
Yeah.
If it was, I mean, I did that in other leagues, but if it was like I literally with the 112, or the 201 or whatever, but yeah, if there was like if there's ever a true random first on the board for like a 112, I'm just doing it and I'm figuring it out. One other quick mention before we move on to this draft here, I was gonna say, is like, here's why I don't own any of these players like Josh Downs, I own Jahan Dotson because I got stuck with him on my shares.
Yeah, we love Jahan Dotson.
Yeah.
We can't help it.
I mean, obviously, like I'll fight for my like Myers or Hopkins if I can kind of flip those guys into them.
Yeah.
But I know you don't like Brandon Cooks, but I gotta scroll for these other names too here. Just like,
I mean, I liked him in like 2014, but
hey, okay, maybe it's like
exciting,
Wandale. Okay, here's a perfect one: Tyler Lockett, Wandale, whatever. Okay, Adam Thielen. There's another one. Adam Thielen. These guys are like free, and I mean, I know they're gonna be like scoring just as many points as Josh Downs or like any of these receivers that are just like, they're probably going to be destroying Quentin Johnson in points, and they're cheaper. I mean, Josh Palmer is actually another name too that I think like can really
so here's something. You're a contender, Blake, and you own Josh Downs. I'm offering you Adam Thielen and a fourth. You accepting it?
Okay, Adam, you can give me Adam Thielen a third, and I'll accept that.
Okay, so it has to be a third.
Okay, because like a fourth,
I won't give you a third straight up, but
okay.
I'll do a third 3-4 swap. So you'll get Adam Thielen and a third, but you got to give me Josh Downs and a fourth.
Oh, if I'm competing, sure. I'll just bet on Adam Thielen to beat Josh Downs, and then I'll just take my free third upgrade at that point.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I know people won't agree, but like, especially if you name like Tyler Lockett in there, like if I can get like Tyler Lockett, because he's like kind of right there. If I get Tyler Lockett out of like a Downs and something, and like again, I mean, just give me a Tyler Lockett and a fourth, I think for Downs. I mean, I don't own any Downs, so I can't really test like whether I'd actually make that trade or not. But like for Jerry Jeudy, no doubt, who's right beside Downs, no doubt in the world. I'm just I mean, honestly, like Judy's like worth a fourth to me. I know that's like kind of sounds crazy for the Judy guys, but like he's like truly a roster clogger. I don't see the upside.
Okay, so what about like Jacoby Myers? I'm offering you straight up for Josh Downs. You're
I'm accepting that.
You're accepting that. Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you, just finishing that thought about your Tank Dell trade. You got the 112. You took Jonathan Brooks, so you couldn't get a random 25 first. Did you consider trading down, like trading back a few spots and picking up some extra draft picks or players or anything like that?
I definitely did, but here's what I mean, this almost comes to the conversation because I don't want to, I don't want to throw like Pearsall and Leggett and all those guys in the wide receiver bubble, but like they are priced in there, and I do prefer them because they're like we just haven't seen them play. Again, I don't really like Leggett at all. I'll take him at best ball, but that's about it. I'll just take Brooks at that point. Like, I do need an overpay to like get down and try to take a receiver that's like probably not going to be productive. Probably will end up in that wide receiver bubble, in my opinion. AD Mitchell. So, I mean, here's a trade I made in the offseason where I had a lot of rookies before we move on here, is I just traded a true random second, like I received it, for AD Mitchell, but like I on top I got Deonta Foreman, who is like probably just one of like the freest like path to points on a team.
And sorry, who did you trade away for that?
I traded AD Mitchell, who I already had like Polk and Burton and stuff, and a bunch of other guys. It was never gonna really see my lineup unless he's like it's the next CeeDee Lamb, whatever. I mean, not quite, but so I just took my second, and I just took Deonta Foreman, who I can just bet to probably put up the same amount of points as him, at least for a portion of the season.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so are you not buying the argument totally that rookie wide receivers have a little more insulated value? Because I think that was one of the points made on the Pure Potential episode, is that if you're going to like take shots on these young receivers, like do it with rookies. So do you agree with that?
Oh, no, I completely agree with that. I already owned a bunch of rookies, and I'm already playing the numbers, and I'm like, I can just hold all these guys and hope like one hits. But I'm just like, I don't know. I feel the worst about like AD Mitchell, so
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, and I know I can get a second for him, so like, let me get that.
Yeah, and
And
also I think that's a good example. Like, look at the Colts. Like, you have Josh Downs,
yeah,
who in theory is worth a second, even though you probably can't get it in 90% of leagues.
yeah,
And then you have AD Mitchell, who's worth a second.
I know.
But
Yeah,
like, both those guys aren't going to produce,
they're not
and
gonna
Michael
both be
isn't
worth
going
a
to produce.
second.
So,
I know, and I'm saying like it's not like I like Josh Downs as an NFL player. I just
right, me
don't like
too.
him for fantasy.
Exactly.
I don't know. I've even heard really sharp people in more in the best ball thing saying because in there you only need 1 week, and
Yeah,
maybe
right.
even Pittman
You don't
goes
have to
down.
you don't have to figure out when the spike week's
It's
coming.
exact. Good luck figuring out when to start Josh Downs. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
like, come on, like, especially all these with Jerry Judy. Like, are you in week 14? You need to make the playoffs. Are you gonna really roll with Jerry Judy in your lineup in a start 9 or 10? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I'd rather just throw like any of these other guys in here. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
rather
Okay.
throw
So to
friggin'
wrap up this conversation and just kind of summarize things,
yeah.
you're a rebuilder. You own Tank Dell. It
Okay,
sounds like you're not buying the advice of trade Tank
I'm
Dell
not.
for Romeo Dobbs in a second, right?
No, yeah, and again, let's be clear here too. That might not be the trade he's suggesting. I think
Yeah, maybe not
he
exactly, but like, yeah,
insert whatever
that's
name
not,
that would like make that fair of like that wide receiver tier, and I think it was like Jaden Reed for the second and Dobbs makes more sense because like they are
okay.
both
So
Packers
Jaden
receivers.
Reed's on the lower end of that.
Yeah, because like
Okay, so let's use
someone
Jaden Reed as an example. Yeah, so
someone would
Jaden
so
Reed
do
for
that if they
Dobbs in
like
a second.
Dobbs. Like if they thought Dobbs was like talented, and of course there's guys like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. And I'm not like the highest on Reed, but yeah, I mean we already kind of went over it. I mean truly Dobbs, in my opinion, like especially in a lineup league, like good luck figuring out.
Yeah.
Like good luck. He's literally the definition of replaceable.
Mhm.
Jaden Reed at least flashed that like he truly can be a difference maker and that guy, on that offense. So
Yeah.
I'm not buying that. And
Yeah.
if
And
I am gonna move
also,
him, it's for the first.
just to be clear and fair, I think that the Dobbs example that might have come from Dynasty Trades in 5.
Okay.
Both channels were kind of
Yeah.
discussing a similar topic, so
Yeah.
I might be mixing up which channel said what a little bit,
Yeah.
but yeah, there was a very similar discussion though.
Yeah, real quick, Dan, if you see like Dobbs and like I don't know, all these names in here. I mean, I don't know you like we're still like our one exception is like I think we're both like a little bit like rooting for like Dotson of like we like
Yeah.
Daniels and stuff, but like he's probably like our little outlier here. We're like, oh man, like I don't know, I can still see it. But these other names, if I just like see them, I don't know. I'm just not putting any. It just like it just looks like garbage to me, like in the trade.
Yeah, but
I
just to use a different name because like I
yeah,
keep
we've been
saying
using the same.
I keep saying Romeo Dobbs, but
Yeah.
like if it's someone you like a little better, like Deontay Johnson, Christian Kirk. Like, are you taking one of those
Okay.
guys in a second for like Tank Dell,
That
Zay Flowers, like those types?
if I'm competing, that's when we can like have a conversation. And what I will say is that I'm the biggest Calvin Ridley and like Chris Godwin hater. One
Right.
thing I will acknowledge is like give me those guys ahead of like I know they're ranked ahead, but like I'll pay like a third to like actually I'll probably I don't know. That's tough, but like if I had Josh Downs and I couldn't move him, I'll
Yeah.
pay a third to like get up to these guys. Because these
I-
guys there is still upside for these guys to like make a weekly difference or maybe
Yeah.
a season difference. If I was forced to do that, I'll I don't like those guys that much, but I will do that. I like this Amari Cooper and so
Yeah.
on Cup, but yeah. So yeah. What was
Okay,
the last
so-
thing you mentioned there?
Okay, so yeah, so guys you do like a little bit are like Diggs and Cooper because I mean those are
They're-
guys you could at least count on production
Yeah.
for like a year or so. So if you have, let's say Zay Flowers, and you have a
Yeah.
trade offer in your inbox of Amari Cooper, and I don't know, would that be realistic for someone to send you Amari Cooper in a second? That might be too good.
No, I think people would absolutely. I was gonna say like I think you could probably get like this like Cup and Diggs in the second like on top potentially.
Okay.
Okay,
So you
I
offer
would
your
do
inbox
that.
of Amari Cooper in a second for your Zay Flowers. What are you doing with that trade
If
offer?
if I'm competing, I'll probably again I didn't need to. There's a lot of context. If I'm
Yeah,
just
sure.
like, if I don't really have already like the studs and stuff, and I feel like I need like a potential like true wide receiver one,
Yeah.
I'll go back in on Cup and whatever these guys. not Christian Watson, but
Okay, so you could see yourself as a contender accepting a trade like that.
Yeah.
If there was a hole in your lineup where like you'd probably start this like Cooper or Diggs every week, right?
And then I get the second, and that surely fills the gap.
Okay.
I'm not going down for the Dobbs, like whatever, right? Like
okay.
like screw those guys. Those guys are useless. They have no value to me, and I if I miss out, so be it. So I don't know. Would you agree with that?
I could see that. I mean, I do believe in these like second year wide receivers that had really good rookie seasons more so than the market. So it's a little bit of a tricky thing to kind of like balance my opinion with like what the market thinks. I still feel like I'm willing to make bets on those guys. I think it's a case where it's like, I don't want to just like group them all together. Well, I guess I grouped them together because like I believe in all four of those players, but there could be a player. I mean, I guess like JSN is a guy I'm a little more nervous about. So maybe with JSN, like my answer is different for what I would do. But I'm willing to make bets on like specific players and make it like a case by case thing. So I don't think it's just like a universal thing that I'm doing for all wide receivers that fit into this category. But I definitely think it's an interesting topic. And if I was a contender, would I consider taking like a Amari Cooper or Stephon Diggs plus a second for one of those guys? I'd definitely consider it. I don't know. I'd have to think about this more. I think this is definitely a topic we should revisit. But I thought it was a good one to discuss, and definitely some interesting discussion here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can go all day on that there. So I guess
I'm
we'll
sure we
cut
could,
it off. But
closing draft though for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, closing thought. It's funny because like the way I built my teams, maybe I wouldn't do that because like I already own like all those like young like stud receivers, and there's not really a point for me to like down tier them. But so maybe I lied. But
last question though, if you're a rebuilder, and although it maybe the other manager isn't like thinking very much from your perspective, but what if the other manager still sends you that offer that even though you're a rebuilder, the other manager's offering you like Mari Cooper in a second for your Zay Flowers? Is that a decline at that point? Are you trying to come up with a counter?
I'm countering, and I'm trying to figure out the first deal.
Trying to get a first somehow.
Yeah, okay. I mean, because at that point, like those guys can turn into first, like the Cups and stuff in season, but that's still, I don't know. That's a pretty risky
because that could be a strategy. Like if you really believe Cooper Kupp's about to have a monster season, you make that bet, you bank the second, and then Cooper Kupp has a monster week 1, and then can you flip him for a first at that point? At least like a late projected first. So it is a possible strategy to.
And the payoff of that is if you really can somehow manage to do that, which is totally reasonable, then you get like a first and a second. But again, as much as I'm willing to bet on that player, that's still pretty risky if you're rebuilding. Where I don't know, Cooper Kupp, like these guys aren't like guaranteed that people will take them off your hands. So it's
right. Because people are still a little like skeptical of like, oh well, this guy is old and he's gonna go to zero and like that kind of thing.
Maybe like Puka got banged up in the game and they're like, oh, like Puka's. There's always like something.
Here we go again. So it's definitely a risky route to go that way.
Yeah.
But I thought this was a good discussion because like. I don't know. I just feel like so much, recently, all the advice is just like re-roll. And it's just like it seems like all we end up doing is just kicking the can down the road, over and over. And it's like, where does this eventually lead? I mean, at some point, we need to like have a stance and like make a bet on something. And so, I just think it's interesting to talk about like, okay, you re-roll this first, but then it doesn't work out. Okay, what do you do from there? I feel like that doesn't get discussed enough, and so. I'm glad that we're touching upon some of these things, and definitely a conversation we should continue. In the future.
My quick note is, if they're replaceable, if they haven't shown that they're Puka, not like Puka Nakua, they haven't shown that like the Zay Flowers, like maybe they don't have the draft capital or Tank Dell, like they haven't flashed like that. You could probably move on from them if it's like the Josh Downs thing, right? Like again, we keep using his name, but that's that's how I'm playing it, and I think you agree with that there. So and again, maybe we're gonna draft Josh Downs and Jameson Williams in this draft. Who knows? But obviously best ball, much different world. But if I am gonna bet on these players, it is in probably like this where like the stakes are much.
One last quick question, because I'm thinking of Amon-Ra St. Brown and how like everyone was like discounting his grade. The second half of his rookie season. Where were you on Amon? Wait, you weren't playing Dynasty back then, right?
No, I wasn't. But like in my redraft league, okay, I was playing like 3 leagues, but I had one decision, and these guys let Jalen Waddle slip 1 pick before Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I took Jalen Waddle, of course. So I mean, Yeah, I couldn't really like back up. I can't like tell you exactly what I was thinking. I didn't have like a crazy stance on Amon Ra. I was a pretty skeptical, but again, at that point, like I just was not nearly into like as much into fantasy and like
Yeah.
being like I didn't have like a crazy stance on Amon Ra St. Brown. I was like
Okay.
you know he tore. If anything, I didn't like him because he got that the first win on the Vikings on that like last play of the game. So
Yeah.
if anything, I didn't like him. But
Okay, fair enough.
you know,
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was an interesting example of a guy that it's like. I mean, obviously that's what we're hoping happens with the Jaden Reed, and Tank Dell, and Zay Flowers, and all those guys. So
I think it's really important to remember that's like in the range of outcomes, and like again, we're gonna use the same like these. It's not in the Rose guys' range of outcomes ever that they're gonna be anywhere near that tier, and you know if you're getting a second on top like that's you know. Maybe we'll just like replace that with like the name which we like is like James Conner or something, or like Aaron Jones. But it's like okay, I mean, come on, give me my like young stud receiver. You know, like screw these crappy receivers. But yeah, so let's hop in here, Dan. I think this is my fourth entry. You know, I'd love to just for us to split this little 1.5 milli here.
Sounds good.
Let us know if you are, watching in here, and if you got any thoughts on that discussion, or if you're watching on YouTube, and if you are watching the draft as well, just let us know what you're thinking about our draft or whatever, right? So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if you have any questions about underdog drafts or best ball or dynasty, we'd love to hear from you. So definitely comment in the chat, and we'd love to interact with you and answer your questions.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of do the lock in full screen here, make our face cam pretty. Okay, no, I can still make it pretty big, but damn, like we get pick 8. This like I think we've been picking from pick 8 every pick of best ball mania. Like this is just brutal. I can't get an early pick to save my life. Wow.
Like every YouTube creator that does underdog draft says the same thing.
I've been hearing them say the same thing, but like it really is true for me. Like if you go back to our best ball, my best ball, I don't know, maybe I think I may have slipped into the mid. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. What did I get with? Do you remember what I got last week?
I don't remember, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like the curse of the content creator. Just does not get good picks in underdog drafts when live streaming.
I gotta see what I got real quick.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
I won't complain too much if I got 112.
Oh, jeez.
I mean,
okay, yeah, so you're not lying.
No, I don't think I've picked ahead of 7 or 8. I might have gotten 8 3 times out of my 4. Like it's just ridiculous. I think there's a huge advantage to picking the top 6 this year. I mean, if you get Jefferson or Amon-Ra at 6, which happens every time, I think that's just no brainer. Like that, it's a way better pick than having to take a running back. Or one thing I will say is like we can take a stance here on like AJ Brown, who honestly I don't really have any AJ Brown. Would you be willing to just take Brown here and like we could try to bet on Philadelphia / like Dallas potentially? I haven't really played out much of that. And
yeah, I mean we'll see who's on the board where we're picking, but yeah, I mean I like AJ Brown, so I wouldn't complain.
I mean obviously we're not gonna get Amon-Ra here, but I'm willing to. I've taken a lot of Brees, so. Mm-hmm. I'm pushing this way, and honestly, I don't know if you've been seeing all this, like Kellen Moore. I think it's a really good for Devontae Smith, but I don't know. I mean, AJ Brown probably has wide receiver 1 overall potential. As crazy as it.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
I don't think that's like crazy, but like you see these guys.
It's not likely, but like I mean, he's in the discussion of a guy that could reasonably do that.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it's like that. Honestly, if I wish I could get him in a dynasty league, I just don't own him, and he's really hard to get. And the right trade hasn't been there, but he truly. I think I've always kind of been discounting AJ Brown in my mind for some reason. I don't know. I love these other guys, but truly, let's just take AJ Brown. I really like that game. Yeah, so.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, if it was between him and Breece Hall, and you already have a lot of Breece Hall and underdog, and I know you have a lot of them in Dynasty, so yeah, I'm good mixing it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
And
I don't own any AJ Brown, so yeah,
yeah,
that's
oh yeah, I mean, definitely, I think that's a good opportunity to mix in a share and also just sort of get ahead on wide receiver in these.
yeah.
So
Exactly. I truly think like Brees Hall can be a top scorer, but and these other guys, I love Garrett Wilson, Puka, but yeah, let's go AJ Brown, get a
so
receiver,
yeah, so
and
what's breaking the tie between AJ Brown, Puka, and Garrett Wilson? Is it just the ADP on underdog,
for
or
like
is it like exposure,
on
or is it a
here,
combination?
the way I think is the right way to play. Unless you have a super. Oh, hold on, we're gonna be on the clock here real
Okay.
quick. So, I mean, immediately, obviously we don't have a Cowboys receiver. Obviously, we're not gonna take a quarterback. But one thing to keep an eye on is just like, okay, we can hope Hurts falls at the 41, but Olave goes. Is there a receiver that you like more than the
I'm
other?
not big on Nico Collins, and I'm getting a little nervous about Ayuk, but
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts.
I'm honestly kind of a Waddle guy here. I mean, obviously we go to Devonta Smith, but that lowers our floor, and this is best ball mania, so we want to shoot the ceiling. Are you fine?
What about Devontae Adams? I mean, isn't that pretty solid?
All right, we'll go Devonta. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't mind Devonta. The only thing is that it kind of prevents a possible stack that like Waddle, I guess these other guys have. He probably will have. I mean, he'll easily have the most targets of all those players. So, and also one thing to keep in mind, I think Devontae Adams is like averages like 25 points per game in week 17 or something ridiculous.
Okay.
In his career, like it's just insane.
Oh,
But
nice.
honestly, I've been really pushing Waddle. I kind of agree with you. Like I'm nervous about Ayuk. I probably prefer Debo. I don't know. Everyone likes clicking Nico Collins here.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know. That doesn't do it for me, honestly. I just.
Yeah, I think he's been overdrafted. I think you could argue
I truly think so.
just the fact that he's the first Texans wide receiver taken of the three.
Yeah.
When you could make a really good argument for any of the three,
Yeah.
I think just kind of by definition, the fact that like he's the most expensive one kind of makes him kind of like being like overpicked. Like I'd rather just take the cheaper ones because like they're all really close to me. And also, I recently saw a Dynasty Domain episode that was talking about Nico Collins. And it was just talking about like a lot of different receivers and kind of like their sustainability going into this coming season.
Yeah.
And it definitely sounds like there's some reasons to be concerned about Nico Collins. I mean, he had like an insane like yards per catch average. I think what was it like yards per catch or something. And so he actually didn't have like a ton of volume. And now you bring in Diggs, so it's like probably being overdrafted and underdog.
I mean, you're speaking, you're taking the words like right out of my mouth. People, and again, a lot of like people I really respect their opinion are like auto clicking Collins there.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think in a vacuum. I mean, I completely understand that he was awesome in each metric, but I think that might be, and honestly, I obviously looked really good on the field, but I think there are a lot of things that you can consider. And then here's the other argument. If we really feel confident he's the wide receiver one, like that would make me feel better in like a redraft or a lineup league. Like this is best ball. Like he doesn't. I mean, obviously you're spending high capital on him, but when you get a guy, 16 picks later, like for the same offense, I mean, he could just hit your lineup the same amount and be just as impactful in the same offense. I don't know. So
yeah, I mean, what's the argument for Nico Collins over Diggs? I mean, I honestly I think I'd lean Diggs over Nico Collins if we're just playing redraft.
Hold on here. We're popping up here, so I want to make sure we are locked right in, dude. I don't know if we were picking a few spots back. I'd honestly be kind of pounding the table for Kyron. I think he's pretty underpriced, but there's a lot of running backs I like later, so I think we got to go receiver.
I mean, I like Diggs. We were just starting to talk about him. I mean, you could talk.
Okay, yeah, Okay, Diggs taken. Yeah, so.
Okay.
Let me see what we're picking. Honestly, we can go to elite QB with this build if we take Pittman. Like, we've been kind of going volume and really high upside. Or, sorry, like, I guess, like, really high ceiling. Like, if we just take Pittman here, like, I feel really solid. Like, these guys can just go nuclear any week. Pittman can, like, literally hit our lineup every time.
Yeah.
People, again, guys that I really respect their opinion, don't really like Pittman. And I understand the argument that he's not going to be dropping 30 points every week. But I just, again, I mean, I think Diggs could do that. Tank Dell, who we obviously like, has potential to do that. But I think Pittman's going to be in your lineup every week, and I'm not as convinced Tank Dell is. And I don't know. In the end, I want to advance this team, and
I mean, I think the argument against Pittman is that, and we talked about this not too long ago, that like at least last season he was just like so consistent, and so it's like in best ball, is that the most desirable thing? Would you rather have the guy that's more so it has that inconsistent production, but he gives you those big spike weeks? So that's not to say Pittman couldn't do that this year. I mean, there could be some hidden upside with the Colts offense this year. Maybe they pass more than most people are expecting. I mean, they've been drafting a lot of wide receivers, so maybe they just air it out this year. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say is, like, I don't know. I mean, Zay Flowers is kind of a volume guy, too, and, like, this, like, creative touch guy. So, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't see, like, the Zay Flowers over, like, Pittman thing for best ball because, like, I mean, I kind of just think of him as, like, not, like, a younger Pittman, but, like, in the same in the same thing, like he's not gonna absolutely spike. He's not gonna be dropping 30 points for you, but he can get in that 15 points per game and stay pretty consistent range. So that's why I just prefer Pittman.
I mean, I feel like Pittman's a safer bet. I mean, I could see like the argument for Zay Flowers might just be like his explosive ability.
Yeah,
and, like,
second year receiver kind of thing. Like, like he's the second year receiver, which like of course I'm factoring in as well, but.
Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of like unlucky stuff in Pittman's career as far as like touchdowns and like I don't know. Maybe this is the year where he just like goes nuts. By the way, Hurts, we can't let him slide here. Like we could obviously try to get AR, but I don't know. Is there a player that we care about enough? We could go Pacheco and then try to get AR, but I don't know. What do you think here?
I mean, it's tough to pass on Hurts having AJ Brown, so I think in that direction. But I mean, not bad options.
Let's go Hurts because like you just never know. I mean, I'm not gonna say Pacheco's gonna slip, but we might really like a running back. And
I mean, I like Pacheco, but like, I mean, there are other good running backs, so I'm not like heartbroken if I don't get him.
Yeah, like we can. I mean, I feel confident, of course, with AR doing a 2 QB build. Of course, like I think he could truly be QB1.
Oh, that would be sweet. Hurts and AR, I would love that.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not suggesting that, but I'm saying like as far as like if we went the AR route, like we could still do a 2 QB build, but.
So wait, I mean, would we have had to have taken AR there? I mean, like, where does he usually go?
He would have been like right on ADP at our next pick at 57. I think we would literally pick at 56. So the thing is, like, Hurts like actually is my QB1 for just like every format of like redraft. So, I mean,
so what if Anthony Richardson is there at our next pick? Do you want to take him?
No. Yeah, no, it's just way too much capital
to invest in a quarterback
and a QB. Yeah, it like I mean that would be pretty unique. Like obviously, if if you need both those guys to advance, but like,
it is. It is investing a lot. I mean, Hurts like part of the benefit of drafting them is that we don't need a lot else at QB.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. We only have so much budget in the draft. Is like the way I like to think of it. So, I mean, I'm completely fine just backstacking any of these names here, and maybe we could try to push it into, this. Like I think Herbert's extremely underpriced.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think a Hurts-Herbert pairing would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. I mean, and again, that might almost be too much, but we'll see how the team.
Yeah, we'll see where he falls. Yeah.
Team goes.
Maybe if he falls past ADP, we consider it.
I think Hurts like had. I don't know what the numbers were. Maybe I'm just making it up, but I think it's like somewhat accurate. Is Hurts was like a top 5 quarterback, like I don't know, more than 50% of the time, which is like top 5 QB. I mean, geez, like that is.
Yeah, insane.
That's just like nuts. So, I don't know. Yeah, I've just been a big Hurts guy as much as I hate the Eagles, but I'm gonna push that side. You've seen how much I'm exposed to him in Dynasty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, I would love for Pacheco to fall here. So
that would be sweet.
One thing like
I definitely like Pacheco for this season. I mean, who knows like what his dynasty value will do over the years, but like for one season, year, I like him a lot.
Here's one thing I'm gonna bring up about like our next pick here. Oh shoot, as Kincaid goes, I was like, man, when you can like potentially have like the wide receiver 1, QB 1, tight end 1, or RB 1, like overall, like that's why I kind of like shooting these shots at Andrews and Kincaid and stuff like that. Yeah. With these teams, like it feels like it's like could be a true super team.
Mhm.
What do you think here? I mean, I don't like these receivers at all.
I mean, I like Calvin Ridley. I know you're not a huge fan.
I think he's way overpriced still.
Okay.
What receiver running back? Because like I think tight end. Yeah, we got to go running back here in my opinion.
I don't know. None of them jump out. I mean, do we just go with the James Cook being the highest? I mean, I don't know. Like, none of them are
Yeah,
super exciting, to be honest.
I'm fine with it because we can get some Jets potentially. I mean, we almost get like Rodgers or something like really late, and then just
Yeah.
pair him with Hurts. Like,
Yeah, it didn't feel like an exciting pick. I mean, who's
no.
available at receiver? I know that the pick's already been made,
We
but
could have got Reed there, but then like he went one pick before, so yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because yeah, I was thinking like Reed or Ridley. I mean, I probably would have gone Ridley over James Cook just because like I'm high on Ridley, but
Yeah, I get it, but you know, I don't know. Again, I push the table for Hop. You know,
I mean, what about Addison? I mean, would it have been too small with Addison?
It wouldn't be a bad pick, but I am hesitant like of quote unquote reaching 10 picks because
Yeah,
Addison can always just like move up an ADP or down or whatever, and
right.
you want to like focus more on like values at this point of like draft time.
Yeah.
When they're there, which obviously there wasn't one there, so
It's just tough because the guys at the top ADP, like none of them were exciting.
No, yeah.
I do kind of grapple with that of like thinking that like just kind of wondering like would it be wiser to just say like screw ADP and like just pick the guy who's gonna have the most value, true value for us in terms of like helping us win the money,
Yeah. When you're this early, like I think that all the data suggests that you just want to go with the ADP value overall because someone might just like have the same combo as you but better if you make that reach, right? So like
yeah,
that's the argument against it. Now
yeah, I understand that it's definitely kind of a you got to consider those things.
Yeah, exactly. And then also we're just drafting so early, so like Addison, like or whatever. Any of these guys have a chance to like completely move around the board. I'm completely fine drafting Addison like here though. Yeah, I mean I don't know. Is there a receiver you like more? I mean
I mean, of course, I love McConkey, so but I mean, I feel like Addison's more of a sure thing. So I don't know. That's a tough one, but I mean, I would say go with the ADP.
Yeah,
I'd be happy.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say McConkey's overpriced because like obviously he's not, but like Addison again, true, like can put up wide receiver overall in 1 week. Like just did.
Oh yeah, I mean he was twice the wide receiver one last year.
Once with Mullins, so I mean, yeah. Again, I really like Addison in this like format, and again, like now we're taking them before like these names here, which again I like, but this like just seems like, I mean, holy crap! Like if we made it to week 17, like we can have all four of these guys starting, like almost guaranteed, like not guaranteed.
Oh yeah, I mean that looks like a pretty nice receiver room. So
yeah, it just it makes me very confident that we can ride on these guys being who we think they are and hopefully invest more in some other positions now.
Yeah. And what about like James Cook? I mean, like, what's the story we can tell ourselves that like he helped us win this money? Like,
honestly, none. I hate it, but
well, I mean, why did we pick him then? I mean, was that just like a panic? Or?
Honestly, it's just like I don't have any James Cook, so it's like maybe we just like we just trust the ADP gods here, and and if it sets up some Jet stuff like that, that's why I kind of told myself I'm fine with it. Honestly, like I know people don't love it, but like I probably prefer Rashad White over James Cook myself.
Yeah, but White wasn't available, was he?
He was, yeah.
Oh, he was.
He's like a couple slots lower. I mean, I don't agree with that.
So if you could go back, would you have taken White?
I don't know. Like maybe to set up Panther stuff. I mean, the argument is just like for both the guys, or you can set up better games. But I probably prefer that Panthers game actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. So
what about like a David Montgomery? Like I mean, the upside of like a Gibbs injury.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm fine with getting that. Yeah. I mean that's tough though because. Just trying to see. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Cook. I don't know what the floor is for him. Like as far as true floor, he goes off the board. No. Like Montgomery's a good like just. Like advance rate guy, and and then upside of being a true RB1 with.
So you're talking about James Cook then, like what his floor is.
Yeah, like I mean, who knows? Like, again, yeah. this is
Yeah,
a
I don't
tough
know. We
spot
should
to
talk about
draft.
that more because like it didn't feel like a great pick. So I
No.
want to know like what should we have done? You know?
I think we should have just hoped for like a different room to drop us a different player. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not like a huge Ramondre Stevenson guy, but like, call me crazy. The fact that they paid him and they have like a linebacker as a head coach for like for like redraft or for like best ball. I mean, maybe they just like run the piss out of him. I don't know. Or like Najee. Which
I
one do
mean,
you like more?
I would take Zamir White over him,
Okay.
unless you just want to play the ADP game. But I mean, Ramondre doesn't feel great to me. But I mean, you know, it's your money on the line. So I mean, if you want Ramondre, go for it.
I, yeah, you know what? Let's just go with Ramondre.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just like I'm just gonna call a shot with the money on the line, but yeah, I get it. I don't have any Ramondre, and this will be my first Ramondre. But
Okay, so this will be like the get exposure to all the guys I never get.
I mean, it's not great, but what I will say, I mean, hey, maybe we got like a little bit of divisional stuff. Who knows? Maybe they play in like week 15, 16.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, I don't even know that for sure. But
Yeah, but they're same division, so it stands to reason. Yeah.
yeah, they play twice at least. But
There you go.
okay, here's my argument. Like Stevenson's price shouldn't go up. It probably has like a few picks. It shouldn't go up in this like format. But
Yeah.
the fact that they just like gave him a contract and like they just literally have a linebacker coaching their team that I probably don't think is like a great head coach. You know, if I just had to guess, it's just the vibes. You know, it's just like a vibes take on that.
Okay.
It just sounds like kind of like yeah. I mean, maybe we're literally talking about Zamir White here too. With like they got what's his name, Pierce there too. Where again, it's the same vibe as Mayo. Where they might just like run the piss out of these guys and
Yeah, so you think this is kind of like a old school, old fashioned,
Yeah.
like let's win in the trenches and pound the rock.
Dude, yeah. But then here's the thing with like Stevenson is that like he does have the pass catching upside, so I do like that. And
Hopefully Antonio Gibson doesn't take away too much of that.
yeah, I mean I don't know. Coaches for some reason hate him, but hopefully he can piss off maybe.
But I mean, the staff just signed Antonio Gibson, so it's like it's not like they were stuck with him from an old regime. So
That is true. By the way,
yeah,
I don't know. Like we could just put a bet on Las Vegas here in general.
okay.
And then we could I don't know, I just don't like these receivers. We're pretty good at receiver. I like just
So
waiting.
you're thinking Zamir White or Brock Bowers?
Zamir White's off the board. I like because we don't have any tight end. Like I feel good about Brock Bowers potentially being like a best ball mania winner, and then
I mean, isn't David Njoku? I mean, if we're not playing Dynasty here. I mean, isn't it for 24? Isn't David Njoku like head and shoulders a better bet than rookie Bowers?
I'm letting it ride again. Here's the thing. Here's my argument. Okay, we don't have any Dolphins, and again, we gotta remember that we're playing against 700,000 people here. Okay, we need my bet here is like we don't have any Dolphins like to stack if we ever make it to week 17. And week 17, I know you might not be a week 17 is all that matters guy, but like I mean we still got to make a bet I think honestly on Las Vegas here. We can just take the top two guys. We're probably not going to end up with any Dolphins. So I mean at least here we can now add what is Las Vegas? We can add like a Saint or something, like maybe like Shaheed or something. Like we can add something to that game and just like I don't know, like try to construct it that way. And I think
here's my argument though. We're not talking about like the Chiefs or the Lions, like an explosive offense. We're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders here. So like, how much is there going to be to go around for both Adams and Bowers to both feast and
Look.
week 17 when the money's on the line?
hey, maybe they both score a touchdown or something. Maybe there's 3 for touchdown. I don't know. Maybe one advances you, and then the other one is like who you need. But it's just a bet on the offense to outproduce. I don't.
Okay, so we're kind of betting on the unlikely scenario that like the Las Vegas Raiders don't have a bottom third offense, but they have like a kind of league average or slightly above offense.
I mean, here's why I just don't like Njoku as the pick is. I mean, it's half PPR, and I don't know. He just like never really seems to score touchdowns. I just don't know how confident I feel about Deshaun Watson throwing a lot of touchdowns.
I mean, he has the spike weeks though. I mean, and Watson might not even stay healthy, or I mean, who knows with them? I mean, you might have Winston in there chucking it around.
Yeah, hey.
Throwing for 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. So,
I mean, if I knew Winston was gonna play, like in weeks, whatever, in the playoffs, then sure. I mean, you can talk me into that, but I mean, I guess that's a good legitimate point. I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I just think like when you're talking about what Njoku did last year and where's he getting drafted now, I don't know. And then with Brock Bowers, I think it's probably the lowest Brock Bowers will ever be drafted in his career. And if he has that like breakout in the second half of the season, I'm not saying Laporte or anything, but like I don't know. I think that's just like could be a really good price on a guy that could be a difference maker. Again,
Yeah.
I know it's just like pretty like standard. But now we're sitting where we could potentially fall to Shaheed here, who, again, is just like another guy that could like we could feel pretty solid about these guys starting. We could.
I mean, he could give some spike weeks. I mean, he at least offers that. So
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of like just pure volume / spike guys. I mean, he truly could just like enter our week in week 15 or whatever it is. Like, and again, week 17. Like what if this is a shootout? I think this is one of the more underrated games.
yeah. Or what about?
Oh,
I mean,
we have.
taking Adonai Mitchell and pairing him with Pittman. Do you like that at all, or too many Colt receivers?
I think it's too many Colt receivers. Assuming that, I mean, I guess we don't have a bet on AR, but
Yeah.
I'd rather play into a different game.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you fine with Shaheed here? Just
I'm fine with that. I mean, Palmer, you could make a case for as well as being kind
Yeah.
of sneaky.
yeah. I mean, I definitely like Palmer as well. I'm just trying to see what we have for, like quarterback stacks. Like I guess we
Yeah.
have Carr now. I actually think that is a good pick there. Because now we can go Juwan Johnson as like let's just say a tight end 3, like literally so late with Derek Carr,
Yeah.
and like we could just take care of QB, again tight end like mostly there, and we play like huge into that game, where
Yeah.
like maybe that's the game you need, like that's kind of just the bet we're making.
So wait, who do the Saints play week 17?
The Saints play Las Vegas, so like we
Oh,
can have like a mega, like
Yeah.
that's our game that we're like highly. I know it's not like the prettiest, but like.
Yeah.
That's generally how you win these. Is like
Yeah, I think we
you know.
discussed that actually. I think maybe like on our first underdog draft
Yeah.
we did together, we were discussing like just kind of like random under the radar games that could be like surprise shootouts. And I think we said Raiders Saints is one of them. So
Yeah.
maybe this is that team where we just kind of load up on them.
Yeah, I got a player take for you here. No, he just went. I don't know.
Can we get Condre Miller on this team? We got to get Condre.
We can, but we'll. Oh man, we gotta.
Come on, Condre's got to
Shoot.
be on the Saints
Hold
Raiders
on.
team.
We could add Dallas Goedert. I like
Yeah, get the
where we
first
are at
sack.
receiver.
It doesn't feel amazing, but you could talk me into it.
It could be just like maybe not like a week. Maybe it is a week 17 thing, but maybe it's just like an advance rate thing where he has that one. He has that one game. He kind of like is a good floor for Bowers who.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just draft straight up 2 tight ends. I mean, with these 2 guys, I think that's a pretty good combo. I mean, I don't
What
know.
about tight ends are on the board? Click on tight ends.
There's nothing else like as far
On
as
the show.
I don't know. We could just rock 2 tight ends like this.
Okay. I'm okay with it.
And then maybe we take a 3. Yeah, I don't know. I think I heard someone mention this combo, and they're like, this might be the best tight end combo there is because like you just are not investing highly in it, and you
Right.
kind of get that whatever that rookie upside, and I don't know. Goddard, he doesn't have the touchdown luck, but I mean he's been really solid, and maybe this new offense brings something. So
Yeah, I think maybe just kind of like a bet on like Kellen Moore bringing more passing
Yeah.
to the Eagles, and maybe there's just a little more volume to go around, and maybe Goddard is just kind of like an unexpected beneficiary of that, even though no one's really excited about him.
yeah. I don't. Who was the other guy you were mentioning there?
Oh, Condre Miller.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's pretty far away.
Okay, but let's keep him on our radar though.
Yeah. One thing, like obviously now, like I honestly, I'm fine just like going Carr. I like he's free at the end. I know he's not like awesome, but with if Rashid Shaheed has a game, or sorry, if like Carr has a game, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a pretty good chance that they stack up. Maybe we get Juwan Johnson. It might be a little too much, but he's also
but I mean,
free.
would that be a 3 quarterback build in that case?
No. I mean, with Hurts, like, I think I'm comfortable with probably even Kyler Murray, or like again like AR and stuff. I'm fine doing 2 QB builds there.
Okay. I think I'd be fine with that. I mean, ideally it'd be nice to have someone a little better than Carr. I mean, are you at all concerned that like Spencer Rattler could be making some starts at the end of the year?
Honestly, I'm not, because I forget what the contract thing was, but I don't know. I don't know, whatever the contract was. I believe like with Carr, it's just so far gone. Like, one thing that we could look into too, though, is like maybe we could still, like, I love May, and maybe we add some New England receivers to the end of this, and then we also have like Stevenson.
Okay, but I
Um,
mean, you'd have to go with a 3 quarterback build if we took May, right?
no, well, I'm not saying we're like, I don't know. I mean, we're trying to beat 700,000 people, so
Okay.
I'm willing to take, like, obviously a lot of risk in that sense. Where
You're willing to take a gamble that, like, despite all the coach speak, May ends up getting thrown out there in week 3 when the
yeah.
Patriots do and Brissett's doing nothing.
I mean, if you draft him in Best Ball Mania, that's what you need to tell yourself. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, we see this all the time. We're like, oh yeah, Brissett's our guy, and then May's in there by like week 3.
yeah. So we're looking at running, like, yeah. I mean, again, I think we're just like fine for this next 2 picks, just avoiding anything but running back.
Yeah, because I mean, Jacoby Myers would be overkill on the Raiders.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. We're super invested in that game at the moment. We need running back. Like, here's Condre Miller. My only issue is that, like, we would be pretty invested. I think I'd want Carr in that build for sure if we get Condre Miller, though.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with Condre Miller, but Marshawn Lloyd is a little interesting with Addison. I don't think it's that important though. Like,
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that be a reach though at this point?
yeah, it would be. It would be. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't have any Eckler. Do you care about him? No. Dowdle. Dowdle's like plays the Eagles, so I think
Oh,
we're
does
just
he?
I think we're just forced to take that. I mean, would you
Really? Okay.
Well, is there anyone else you care about anymore on here?
I mean, if we take Dottle, or we're probably not going to get Condre later, right?
We're getting both of them right now. We'll go Condre. Sorry, I forgot that we don't have back-to-back picks. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Let's go Condre. He's higher in
Yeah.
ADP, of course. Yeah, sorry, I got excited there.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Dottle, like
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like I'm okay taking him at the right
No.
spot, but yeah.
But my bad. Yeah, sorry. I was just
You're good,
I just figured out our 2 picks there, and of course, Dowdle will probably get taken. We got to wait quite a few, but I mean, that
I
would
also like
work perfectly.
Ty Chandler, and I think there might have been another running back that kind of stood out. Jalen Wright, of course, I really like a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I started Marshawn Lloyd here as well because
I like Lloyd. I like Lloyd.
Yeah. There's been fake Twitter account buzz that, like, the Vikings might sign Akers, which I don't think anyone cared about anyways.
Yeah,
But
I don't think that
again,
affects.
it's also like fake Twitter accounts, like whatever, like all those like misinformation ones. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good about taking what's his face there.
Chandler?
I just realized we took Conrad Miller pretty far ahead of ADP, but
Oh, we did.
I mean, like 10 picks, or
Oh.
9 picks, but I don't know. It's funny just like seeing Eckler just sitting here. I mean, the RB1 last couple of years, we definitely don't need to take him, but
I don't think so.
yeah. I don't know what the story with Dowdle is. Like, I just don't have any of them, and I mean, there's a true path to, like, him, I don't know, be it like scoring some touchdowns and just being out there. So
I mean, who's going to start? Zeke? I mean, is Dottle the number 2?
honestly, I think it's like, if we're worried about Zeke starting, like, I don't think it's a good enough thing to click on him. Like, or sorry, like, I didn't say that right, but I don't know. Is there anyone else here that you care enough? Like,
I mean, I like Lloyd and Chandler.
do you like him more?
I'd probably go Chandler, but if the ADP doesn't make sense, I get it.
I'm not gonna leave it as Dowdle, and the reason why is because we're invested heavily into Philadelphia, and if we want to, if we want to win $1.5 million, Dan, let's play that Dallas game out.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's the tiebreaker, really.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe it's just a bet that, like, Zeke turns into nothing, and, like, Dottle is like a practically a workhorse maybe in a good Cowboys offense. So I mean, there's a scenario.
Yeah. I don't want to say, like, of course I really like Chandler and stuff. Oh, jeez, I'm having trouble with this camera here, but I think Dowdle probably gets, like, the most standalone value, just if we had to guess right now. Like,
Okay, yeah, you're saying, like, without an injury to the guy ahead.
Yeah, and I also value that because, like, we're pretty weak at running back. We could use, like, the odd, like, touchdown, like, early in the season from Dowdle here. There's certainly value in that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we consider like Lloyd, Chandler, or Wright with like our next pick, or hit another running back again, maybe.
If they were there, I don't think they're going to. My only problem with Wright, I don't know. I don't want to say there's a problem with him because I like Wright.
Yeah.
And it's completely fine just picking a random guy. Like, we don't need everyone to be correlated, but we've been doing a really good job so far.
Right.
I'm almost. I don't know. I really like these Chuba Hubbard and Elijah Mitchell clicks here, and then also we could have Braylon Allen and bet against Brees, because we have Buffalo. So, again, I'm just trying to like put some pieces together. I don't know, like.
So wait, who do the Jets play week 17?
They play Buffalo, and we do have Cook.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, I don't know. Yeah, like Wright. I mean, I think he probably is like the best ball. Like he probably won't even be there for us.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who really cares if he's a 0? Like he really could be out there and running around and stuff. I don't know.
I really think he could be productive his rookie season. Like I don't see him as a guy that's just going to be relevant like a year from now. I think he's going to be used a lot.
Yeah.
Some way, somehow.
Honestly, at his price, I think the only problem I have with his price is that you have like Ray Davis and like maybe Chuba like pretty cheaper. We're like and maybe Vidal too. We're like I think these guys like maybe Ray Davis specifically. Like I just think he's gonna be on the field. Obviously we own Cook, so we.
Yeah, so that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, so maybe this would be like a right team, but we don't have any Browns, so
yeah.
I don't think that matters too much, but.
Okay, so I mean, is Wright too good to pass up if he's still there, or what are you thinking?
I guess he'll be around ADP. Yeah, no, we can take him. We can take him for sure. I didn't expect him to actually even
be falling.
Yeah, to get here. Wow, someone really reached on Douglas there.
Oh, he finally went.
Okay, we got to go to a backup plan.
What about Vidal? Can we consider him at all, or no correlation?
I'm fine with it. Here's my only issue is that like, if he's not the backup running back, then it's like a wasted pick.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, I don't know how much higher he can go. I mean, oh shit, there he goes.
Yeah. Hey, what about Wandale? I mean, should we go back to receiver at some point?
I have an argument against Wandale right now.
Okay.
Oh god.
At 10 seconds.
Click? I mean, I don't know. It's gross. Are you fine with just like?
I thought of Thielen.
Are you fine with it? I honestly.
Other running back?
There's no one in this range I care about enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
I could live with Adam Thielen. Yeah, it doesn't feel amazing, but like, I mean, if he's like 80% of what he was last year, it's probably a good value.
He might be like less, but like he scores some touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then so I don't know. I think we can kind of take like a more risky pick on like a rookie guy now. At least. Yeah. Here's my argument against Wandale for just like reaching on him there too, because it would have been a pretty big reach. Is like we could still play. I know we don't care about Hyatt or Slayton, but like they did bring Slayton back, and he just like randomly drops like an 80 to 100 yard touchdown game every once in a while, or like Greg Dortch or something. But like these guys can like actually make the lineup, and they're also free at the end of the draft. So
yeah,
I think we do have to plan that like we're probably gonna take Carr. Yeah, we're probably gonna take Carr.
So I think what you're saying is that like. In a lineup league, Wandale is, you want Wandale, but in a best ball, maybe there's not as big a difference between like Wandale and those other Giants receivers as there otherwise would be in a lineup league.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I guess I could see that, but yeah, I still like Wandale, but I can see the argument.
We're on the clock now. It sucks that we can't take Ray Davis because I like him. I don't know. I mean, okay, we didn't pick. I don't know. Do you care about Bucky Irving at all?
Bucky Irving? Oh, God.
Again, it's kind of just would be a correlation pick.
I mean, I think I'd go Wandale here. Pick someone.
Okay. We want Wandale. I don't know. I don't like any of the players that were on the board there.
How did the clock sneak up on us like that?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I don't know how I feel about the Wandale. Like, the way that I think we... I don't know. I mean, we do sell Braylon Allen. So the issue is like we would have had to really reach on like some other running backs. I do want to get Braylon Allen, so I can keep my eye on him.
Okay. Yeah,
Again,
I'd be fine with that.
I just don't care about Bucky Irving, but like when there's no decision to be made, or like we don't have anything. I don't know. I mean, maybe Thielen and Bucky Irvin, or maybe Bucky Irvin's out there catching passes after Adam Thielen scores 2 touchdowns or something. You know, we got to tell ourselves something crazy. Yeah, I mean, these names are disgusting at receiver. I think like Jalen McMillan was a little bit tempting, knowing that we had Thielen.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously Wan'Dale's a better pick, in my opinion. It's just, I don't know. I'm honestly kind of growing on the Slayton for this format. What do you think about that, though? Like, because they can just make your lineup, maybe it's like two times, but one of them's in the playoffs.
Are you saying for this team or in general?
Just in general, like, versus Wan'Dale. Like, maybe Wan'Dale is, like, because we have, like, a Pittman and stuff, we're like, hey, we can bank on him making the lineup all the time. Like, if Wan'Dale's making a lineup with 13 points, like, how much does that really matter?
I think he could have bigger spike weeks than that. I mean, he could have games of, like, 9 catches for 100 yards, maybe as a random game where he scores a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
But just on, like, catches and yardage, I think he could have some good spike weeks.
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't doubt that either. It's just that I think it's the factor that, like, oh, crap, we're almost on the clock here. It only takes one play for what's his face to get like Slayton or something to get on in your lineup, like one ball.
The problem is, like, I don't know who the wide receiver 3 in the Giants is between Slayton and Hyatt. So, like, do they split snaps? Like, that's what concerns me.
I don't know. I don't think it really matters. I think you just whatever you draft, you're hoping is. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's round 18 is like the point. So
it's around the clock.
Yeah, I don't care about ADP at this point. Like I think you and I both feel good that like Braylon Allen's the backup. Like, would you agree?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so let's just take him.
Okay.
Because honestly, we're pretty thin at RB here.
Yeah.
That's kind of like why I didn't like the Wanda. I was like, we're pretty solid receiver, but I think we can get our way out of this.
I mean, we could be done at receiver at this point if we wanted. We could like load up on some running backs.
Yeah. We're done at for sure at receiver. Let's like. I'm already keeping an eye. Like I think Foreman will be huge for this team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's.
I mean, what are we looking for at running back? Are we looking for some floor, some ceiling?
Yeah. Let's take a look at this right now. So like, we'll just say these guys are slotted in. Like, hopefully we can rely on them. Like.
What about Will Shipley? Going with the Eagles.
Let's see here, Shipley. Yeah, I mean, if we know he's the backup, I mean, my only issue is be like, I don't know, like, I think he's the backup, but like, does anything like say that he is?
I mean, come on, kind of Gainwell. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Sermon's interesting because like we think he's the backup.
I mean, Sermon isn't exciting as a talent, but just the fact that he's like.
I feel like Sermon's a better pick than. Okay. I don't know. I mean, we also are like extremely invested in Philadelphia if we take. What's his face? Like, I don't know. Is that good or bad if we're taking the backup?
Oh, because we already have Goddard and A.J. Brown and Hurts. Okay, so you think a Colt makes more sense than an Eagle?
I think. I don't know. I mean, let me think about this here.
Because, I mean, Hurts always steals the touchdown. So, like, there's probably a better chance Sermon falls into the end zone.
That's what I mean.
Shipley.
Yeah, like, I don't really care about, like, the receiving stuff too much on the half PPR when it's, like, I mean, we're betting on Hurts to literally.
Yeah, I mean, and Hurts doesn't throw to his running backs a ton anyways.
Yeah, like, we're literally betting on Hurts to not be handing the ball off, so.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, maybe Sermon makes more sense than.
This might sound crazy, but, like, I don't know. There's, like, fake accounts saying he won't make the roster. But, like, Khalil Herbert is Warren with, like, a worse publicist or something like that. Like, I don't know. Can you get behind that at all or no?
Wait, why do you like her? I mean, I don't dislike Herbert, but what's the argument for him?
The argument is he's Jalen Warren. Okay, we get auto-picked into him. Okay, the argument is he's Jalen Warren, like, with all the efficiency and all that crap and jazz. Right. But, like, he has the worst publicist. The world's taking Jalen Warren at pick 90. But, like, Herbert can be out there. I mean, obviously Warren's is a way better pick. But, I mean, Herbert's free. And, like, he's the perfect best ball running back.
Oh, yeah. I like him. I mean, he's a good player. He has some, like, big playability. And, Swift traditionally is injury prone, so I think that's kind of a sneaky bet. I mean, I guess it's
Yeah.
sort of like who do you like better between Roshan and Herbert, but I like Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, I like a Roshan, but I mean, Herbert was playing ahead of him last year, and like Herbert really is like that best ball kind of guy where he just
Oh
is
yeah,
really efficient, can really bust away. So
yep,
I'm not too hot on Swift, so
yep.
I just think when you can get a guy like that who like. I mean, he really has a chance. Like, he just fits perfect in this running back room, which is why I kind of
Oh
just
yeah, I
like,
like it. I'm good with it.
you know, we need a guy that can get on the field, and I think he's going to be on the field. And
Yeah.
again, yeah, so again, we're really good at receiver. Let's just rock two tight ends. We can try and get Foreman, and we can try to get Carr. So the only issue here is that, yeah, I think we have to take Carr first because like maybe the Olave owner. Let's go see what he
Hey, we could
has.
do Bryce Young stacking with Adam Thielen.
We could. We don't have any, but like I'd like to have like a Bucks like Bucky Irving in that time or
Yeah.
like Rashad White.
Yeah.
Saying yeah. I don't know. I definitely lean Carr. I know you don't like. I know like no one likes Carr.
Yeah. But with Jalen Hurts, we don't need that much else. I mean, he can
Yeah.
like basically do it like almost every week. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually really came. I think Carr's like a really good pick just in general because he's like 18th round. Um, I think he
So the
threw like
question is like, when is he ever going to beat Hurts in a week? I mean, is it just for like the bye week, or I mean, we're just hoping he has like one or two random spike weeks? I mean, I feel like Bryce Young, there's a little more upside there.
again. Yeah, I know. I totally. I don't know. I don't. I would disagree. I mean, I get the upside, but like Derek Carr, when you go back again, it's like box score picking.
Yeah.
He was hurt, and I think just a lot of weird stuff was going on. They have the new passing offense, like that's or but the new offensive coordinator. That's massive.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's just check this guy's quarterbacks. Tua Stafford, yeah, we he's probably wants Carr. Yeah, we gotta take Carr here. I can almost. I'm not gonna say he's guaranteed gonna take Carr, but he's.
I mean, do we really want to reach on Carr? I mean, isn't he more of a guy if he falls to us, we settle for him?
I mean, we're picking him at 17-8, like one pick on ADP.
Okay. So it's not really reach.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm banging the drum because he's really important in this Las Vegas game.
Okay.
Like we need a quarterback in
I'm
that
good with
game.
it.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
I really need to talk in that one. Okay, or like I didn't need to, but like I needed to like make sure he's like important because we need a quarterback in that game, and
Yeah.
he threw 11 touchdowns in like the last 3 weeks of the season or something.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He did, yeah. And I get like that's like box score watching and stuff, but like, I mean, isn't that like what we all do for like every player? Like, oh, like this player X. So there really is a ceiling there. I think a lot of just like broke wrong for that team. I think they're gonna pass the ball a lot more, like in the sense that like whatever they're gonna be a better offense and more efficient.
Yeah, I mean, do you like the new offensive coordinator that's in there? I mean, you think there's hope for more passing, maybe higher pace of play?
I mean, I'm not like over the moon over Kubiak, but like he played with the Vikings. Obviously great success with Cousins, or sorry, coached Cousins and in that offense. And then again, he was just with San Francisco, so I mean that's pretty good pedigree for passing offenses, which he was the coordinator for both of those. Sorry, the passing game coordinator.
Okay.
So that's why I want to like. I was really beating a drum for Carr here as like again he's free. If we don't get Foreman, again we can just take a shot on Estime with Shipley, Sermon. I probably let's put these guys in the queue. So I think it was a very important pick, and again versus Bryce Young, I totally get it because like we have Thielen, but it just made I don't know. I'd rather have Carr to vacuum for best ball.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think it makes sense to just load up on. I mean, we're invested in that Saints Raiders game, so like we need that to be some kind of like crazy, unexpected shootout. So if that happens, Derek Carr probably has some wacky good game that no one saw coming. So
exactly, yeah. I mean, maybe Shaheed just like randomly has that 2 touchdown game, and then maybe like Connery Miller somehow is like getting work, right? Like. So
maybe he's Saints starting running back by that point. Like who knows?
Yeah, like I really like those. Like obviously with Hurts, it's like different because it's Hurts, but like really like these like pocket passing quarterbacks stacked with the running back.
Okay.
Like I think that's actually really underrated. And honestly,
because then like rushing him in at the goal line like Hurts does.
yeah, and like for like advanced rate stuff, I mean, you could do obviously have the passing touchdown, but
Yeah.
with like our backup quarterback being Carr, if he hands a couple off to Miller in like week 15, you can advance that way.
Or if he throws him to Miller.
Or he throws them to Miller.
Right.
But then maybe he throws them to Miller next week, or Derek Carr just throws 4 touchdowns the next week, and then we need him to advance. So, I mean, if you get what I'm saying there, like, I like having these stack, and it's just kind of a bet on the offense. So we're fine with Foreman here.
Foreman fell here. I love it.
Yeah. So I think we really got bailed by. Like, was there any picks that like you didn't really agree with? Because I kind of forced you into quite a few of them just for like.
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely some that didn't feel good. I mean, like the James Cook pick didn't feel great.
Yeah, I don't think I much liked that one, but
yeah, and then Wandale was kind of a panic pick. Although I really like Wandale, so like, I mean that that was sort of could work in favor. Thielen didn't feel great, but like I don't hate it for sure. Shaheed is. Yeah, I'm okay with. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like there were some tough choices. Maybe it's just sort of like the trickiness of that 8 spot. I'm not sure. The other thing is like, we went back-to-back like Condre and Rico, and I didn't realize we were like reaching on Condre, and then Rico kind of felt like we were doing it for the stack, and then it seemed like the running backs that went after those guys were like even better value, like Ty Chandler, Marshawn Lloyd, Jalen Wright. So it didn't feel like we got the best value there, but I think it works for our particular team.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like a big cluster of running backs that we really like. But the thing is that like both these guys completely fat into like our bet here.
Yeah, our bring backs or
And I mean, those other guys technically did too, but I think these ones, I think these, I don't know. I think it makes more sense. And then also when you're looking at just Ramondre Stevenson and Cook, like I think both Connery Miller and Dowd will have some standalone value without injury. So I think it was, and not those other guys don't, but I'd probably bet on them, like, falling in the end zone more often than, I don't know, than like Chandler or Marshall.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping that both Condre and Rico have roles. Even if they're start the year as like the number 2 running backs, we're hoping they at least like get some snaps and touches to start the season, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then we can kind of wait on like potentially Miller and Allen. Dowdle should be out there, and then I think we perfectly stacked it up with Herbert and Foreman potentially. Just getting out there and falling in the end zone. I mean, that's really all this team needs. Like, right? Like,
oh yeah,
it's loaded everywhere else. We just need some running backs falling.
I thought Herbert and Foreman were really like nice value picks and sneaky best ball running backs that we could just tack on the end of our running back room there.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll put what's the date today? July 3rd.
July 3rd.
With Dan, July 3rd. LV New Orleans game. And then we I don't know. I think we got like. I don't know. I actually perfectly like. I love the way this. You're never gonna be like so happy with every pick you made.
Yeah.
Like the Wandale one was probably the worst one. Does Indianapolis play? Who do they play? Week 7.
I can look it up.
Like it's either the Giants or the Chargers play them. The Giants. I can't remember who it is. Okay, so it is the Colts. So we lucked into like a little mini stack there with
There
Pittman.
you go. You see, it was meant to be.
Honestly, like I think this was like one of the most deadly like 7 wide receiver rooms I've seen. Where like we just like completely faded them after Addison mostly.
Right.
Like I actually feel really good because like we have a lot of spike potential, but like somehow like such a good floor. Which, like, receivers clearly, like, the most important thing to, like, not get behind on.
Yeah.
And then somehow we have, like, elite quarterback.
Yep.
Who knows?
And Brock
Potential.
Bowers is potentially elite. I mean, at least gives you a chance
Yeah.
at elite tight end production, and it fits
And,
in with the whole Raiders Saints thing. So,
yeah.
yeah, kind of an interesting build. Like, it was kind of fun going just two quarterbacks, two tight ends. It really allowed us to
Yeah.
really load up those running back and wide receiver rooms. So
Wow.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, that was. I didn't realize that was 2.772. I don't know. I think that's like the right way to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, have you come away with a 2.772 very often?
No, but like I think we just like did it perfectly. If we were to add, like if we were to take anything away, let's just say the cards fell differently and we felt better about, somehow we got Brian Robinson in this, which I was gonna like kind of try to talk you into him, in one of these picks and whatever. So and then we needed a third tight end. Maybe it was like instead of Goddard or something, and we take some other scrub. Juwan Johnson's interesting. They said he'll be good to go week 1. They expect him.
That's what they're expecting, but it's not a guarantee.
But here's why I don't mind it for this though, is people aren't going to be drafting him, or whatever. People aren't drafting him, or you're getting a discount on him, and maybe things ramp up. He could rise back up on ADP, and even if he isn't playing, he could just be a low ownership guy, which. Sure. You need, and we were betting on this game, but
right.
If we also did get Juwan Johnson, I mean, holy crap, that is a lot of players in that game, and probably not the best thing. So, interesting.
Yeah. Did Juwan Johnson end up getting drafted?
I think he still gets drafted, but, like, it's probably not even 100%. His ADP is, like, 208, so that's getting really close.
Okay, so he's definitely going in those late rounds.
Yeah, let me check where he went. I still think he's like a good pick as far as like, I think one year it was like Jeff Wilson was hurt, but like he actually was hurt like half the season, but he ended up being like the league winner when he came back. Right. So
exactly. So yeah, it could be kind of one of those guys that differentiates you, and we know Juwan Johnson always gets hot in the fantasy playoffs, so maybe he's kind of that secret weapon you want. So, okay, so he did get drafted. Yeah,
one pick before us there. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he's an interesting guy to stand out. Honestly, yeah, like I think that. When we're talking about rookie running backs, like we don't really want to draft them right now, but because I think you and I are both really confident about Braylon Allen being the backup. Like I saw you dropped Isaiah Davis, so that's how I know. Like you must be like somewhat confident in Braylon Allen.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like at least that's what the reports are saying right now. I mean, things could still change, and I still think Isaiah Davis is interesting. I still have one dynasty share left of him that I'm probably going to hang on to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's just not real exciting owning like the RB3 on a team. I mean, certainly running back injuries could happen, and there's a scenario where Isaiah Davis could be getting meaningful touches and snaps and everything like that. I mean, maybe even if it might just only take a Breece Hall injury. I mean, maybe split between Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, and maybe Isaiah Davis proves to be better and he gets more of the work. So you just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like pretty sums like how I think about it. I just think Braylon Allen. I mean, I kind of like stuff. I mean, obviously there's some red flags, but I kind of liked him coming to college. He's this big guy, and I mean, for as much Breece as I have, and like I don't have any Braylon Allen in Dynasty. Maybe Braylon Allen's the guy you need if like Breece goes down or something in the fantasy playoff, whatever it is. So I don't know. I think like we really worked it out well. Like I don't know. I just think this team, if it like somehow makes week 17, like this team truly has like a real shot to like win the whole thing. I mean, obviously we're talking about us versus 700,000 people. Yeah. This thing's probably not even going to make it out, but out of the first group. But you never know.
Yeah, well,
we got to tell ourselves a story.
Andy B in the league chat likes what we did. He wrote, "Nice 2772. Don't do it much, but this looks like it works."
Is this in the YouTube or?
Yeah, it's a YouTube live chat. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback, Andy. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I've only done a handful of underdog drafts here with Blake on these live streams, but I think this is our first 2772. So
yeah,
I thought it was interesting. I mean, it's fun just being able to load up on those running backs and wide receivers. I mean, it feels like it just gives you a lot of upside. It feels like so. I mean, it certainly seems like a risky bet because you really don't have a lot of margin for error with those, two quarterbacks and two running back or two quarterbacks and two tight ends that you went with. So it's a little scary, but hey, I mean, you gotta be willing to take some chances here if you want to beat the entire field and win the money.
Yeah, I don't know how, like I don't know the data behind like how getting unique with your build matters much. Like we didn't really do it on
Right.
purpose, but I mean I don't know. Yeah, I just think everything slid in perfectly here. And again, like if this is a team that advances, like I think the issue is when you have the 2-7-7-2 is like one thing goes wrong, like this team's dead in the regular season. But I mean, we're more than fine with that. Like, every team's
Yeah.
dead unless you make it a week 17. So like,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. We're like perfectly optimized. If things bounce our way. Yeah, I don't know. I actually just it kind of like this is probably like low key one of our best drafts, or like
Okay.
this is easily our best draft. This might be my favorite draft we've done so far. I was telling you earlier how like on the outside looking in, especially when you can't like hear the thoughts, like at least we've been talking it through.
Mhm.
It's so funny if you just showed someone the picture of this team, they might just like hate it. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many strings attached to like each player. I mean, like the only guy that's like two guys like that aren't connected are literally like Herbert and like Foreman or something.
Yeah.
And they've both served a really important purpose to this like build. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think we did a good job here, Dan. Even though
Yeah.
we messed up a couple, or we ran into a
Yeah. I
couple
mean,
of weird situations.
it didn't feel good like during it, but I feel like you look at the end, it's like, you know what? Like it's not the prettiest, but like
Yeah,
it might be kind of sneaky good. So like I definitely don't hate it. I could see it being just like one of those like weird random
yeah,
teams that you kind of forget about and like ends up doing great. So
yeah.
yeah, you never know. But Andy, if you're still watching the live stream, let us know what your favorite construction is in Underdog. Because you said you didn't do the 2-7-7-2 very often.
Yeah.
So let us know what your favorite construction is in Underdog.
Yeah, and if you got a favorite construction, then maybe it's like important to note that like if you like going six receiver or something, you just like smash them all out at the beginning or something. So let us know that. Yeah, I'm actually like I'm very happy with that draft
Yeah, I mean
there.
it doesn't feel like we're really like particularly weak anywhere. I mean maybe tight
Exactly.
end. I would say I
I
am nervous about the tight end spot, but like I at least like that there's some upside there.
I'm
And
not
Goddard
nervous at all
gives
there.
you like some sense of safety.
Yeah, I'm not nervous at all there. I mean, people,
Okay.
I'm truly fine rocking three dust balls at tight end just with all the
Yeah.
data says.
Right. Right.
And you got our upside and like Goddard. I know he had a pretty rough season, but new
I mean, he's
offense
a
and
guy
he's
that's
solid.
typically like year in year out. He's usually at least like pretty solid, and
Yeah,
like especially if you don't have to like choose when to start him,
yeah,
I think that maybe even makes him more appealing.
yeah. I mean, maybe like the game that like all the Brown owners die in the playoffs. Like it's a Goddard game, and maybe a lot of people don't have those guys together or something like that. Who knows? So
Yeah, because like I mean, what you could just see like a random like Goddard 2 touchdown
yeah,
game. I could also imagine a scenario. What if like Devonta Smith gets hurt and then Goddard kind of takes the role of like the second pass catcher after AJ Brown? I mean, so like all of a sudden it's like you got Hurts and like the top two Eagles pass catchers. I mean, that could be pretty sweet.
yeah. No, exactly. Like and I don't really like drafting Barkley. So sorry, I'm trying to rearrange the TV here because we got a reply back. He usually goes 2-6-8-2 or 2-5-8-3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with this. Bowers, Goddard. I think that like combo. I heard someone mention that combo. Funny enough, like we kind of just fell into it
Yeah,
perfectly in this one.
right.
It just made way too much sense. But like, I don't know. I almost feel like that's like the perfect like marriage. Like you don't have to spend any capital like realistically on Goddard. Like there's no receivers in that range, anyways.
Yeah,
And then you like again like Bowers, you're hoping he's like Laporta or like Kincaid or something. And I mean,
right.
if anyone's gonna do it, it's Bowers. So,
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that feels awesome to get those two. And, they're both really important. Again, if that team ever makes it anywhere, like say week 17, they're both really important. Just one guy needs a touchdown, and they're serving their purpose. So, yeah.
yeah.
So
It looks like Andy likes going 2 quarterbacks and then 5 or 6 running backs.
yeah.
And then
So
pretty heavy on receiver, getting like 8 of them, and then like 2 or 3 tight ends. So yeah, that sounds pretty good.
yeah. So I'd say like I mean, when you're looking at this, like Andy, I assume then you're a big like elite QB guy. You know, probably again, like you're probably hitting receiver. I mean, 8 receiver. Maybe you're like, I don't know. Let us know. Like, do you try to avoid the like zig the avalanche a little bit, or do you like go like 3 early and then just kind of like spam them out later? Because it looks like you might like elite tight end and QB.
Yeah,
Let's
I mean
see.
the thing I'm curious about is like if you get like a stud like Hertz or AR early, like how soon is ideal to get that like second QB? Because you don't want to
Yeah,
invest like too much into it. I mean, initially it kind of felt like Derek Carr was like kind of pushing the envelope a little too much, and I was feeling like I want something a little better than that. But
yeah.
I can see how it would work.
Yeah, once we got in that game, I wanted to like make it
Yeah,
very clear, like
yeah,
Carr's the perfect guy because
right.
he could just in the bye week. Who cares about the bye week? But like he maybe puts up 20 points or whatever. He fills in fine. But like I mean he could truly outscore Hurts in a couple games, and maybe it's in the playoffs, and that's when it matters. Um, but hey, appreciate the the message here. Um,
Yeah, I'm
but
also
yeah.
wondering how Andy B found the channel. I don't know if that's someone either of us know. Is that like a league mate somewhere or something like that? But
Yeah,
yeah, if you're still watching, Andy, let us know how you found the channel. We're always kind of curious about that kind of thing.
yeah. Let us know if you just like clicked on the thumbnail or something, or like and you're recommended because like we play in dynasty leagues. We cover a lot of dynasty as well. Obviously, like, right now it's kind of best ball season, but always interesting to know how people found the stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
So yeah,
definitely appreciate that, and yeah, thanks for tuning in, man.
oh yeah, yeah. We appreciate the interaction in the live chat. We hope to get more of that. So yeah, if anyone's watching, like definitely feel free to like ask us any questions. Be happy to answer them, whether about best ball or dynasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts about this draft or what are you thinking here?
No, I wanted to just take a quick look at our draft that we did, like that we literally just, maybe it'll be interesting for Andy to see, like kind of like how we attacked the draft. Like we just hopped right into it. Like it was literally our first draft of like underdog draft of the year. That was over a month ago now.
Yeah,
And we just dropped into a BBM draft for the stream. So it'll be interesting like to look back at that. But it was recommended, so you watched too much basketball. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, we had a guy hop in here last week. He actually stream sniped us into a draft for Best Ball Mania last week. Maybe I'll quickly show that team. But yeah, he was in here and he said the same thing. Like he was watching a lot of best ball content, and it was like recommended to him. So that's definitely good to see that.
oh yeah,
It was recommended.
that's good to hear because yeah, I mean we're definitely hoping to get like more viewers, more subscribers, that type of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's tough because we're a pretty young channel and yeah, I'm really not sure like when we're doing these live streams like who it's getting out to. So
Yeah.
it's really great to see that's like reaching some people. So yeah, really good to hear.
So real quick for Andy, I guess if he was interested in seeing how I attacked the draft myself, interesting like parallels here. I had Goddard in this draft, who I'm not like particularly interested in. I mean I actually had that New Orleans Las Vegas game and Addison again.
Mhm.
Conrad Miller,
All right.
Derek Carr. So I mean,
Yep.
pretty. That was a three. What is this? A 3-5-7-3. I mean that's a pretty standard build there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, interesting that you had Drake May on that team as well. We were discussing him, and
yeah,
yeah, kind of like an interesting bet that could differentiate you.
Yeah, the guy that I was drafting with, he said that he wouldn't have done a 3 QB, which I can agree with because like Kyler Murray and then Derek Carr. But the reason I took May was simply because I had Hunter Henry, and if this team
Oh,
wants to
okay.
advance like in the playoffs, it might just take a Drake May and Henry touchdown or something. Like there's a lot of data that shows the that if you can pair those guys together, you can advance. So this
Yeah.
was us. Okay, this is really interesting to look at because I mean this has got to be like pretty unique. We went AR Kyler, so
Oh,
like we
wow.
went like extreme QB, which is funny because like I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
lot to invest there, but I mean it's fun. I don't know how
oh,
successful it'll be, but
okay, hold on. So if Andy, if you're watching this, okay, so we were in our first draft of the season. We made a mistake. I forget like what we were trying to do, but like we got auto picked Dalton Schultz because we were trying to remember the week 17 matchups. We had guys in our queue.
Yep.
Luckily, like he was actually somehow a value, but like Schultz was the one guy left in the queue, and
Yeah.
we just got like stuck with him. So then we ended up just like I don't know. We try to recover. We I mean that's pretty high investment. Sanat's been dropping, but we took Woods with AR. I don't know. I don't really feel good about that tight end room at all, but
I mean,
who
I don't
knows?
think it's that bad. I mean, what don't you like about it? Just that there's like no real firepower, or what?
I mean, at least we have like one. I like if I don't have any firepower, them to at least be like attached to the QBs,
I see.
and like hopefully we have two connected. I don't know. I mean, it's probably not that bad. It's just
Yeah.
I remember like the auto pick, and it is
I
what
mean,
it is.
it was kind of like Wandale Robinson in this draft we just completed, where like we kind of got
Yeah,
like auto pick slash like panic pick, but it ended up working out because it dovetailed with a stack or bring back that we had. So
yeah. I remember we ended up realizing I think that's why we took Pierce there. I mean, I don't think we were drafting him anywhere else, but it
yeah.
flowers. So we had some stuff like to recover it, but
Mhm.
yeah, it is. I think the reason I don't feel great is because like Sanat at 158, like I think he goes like 170 something now. So
Oh, he's been falling.
yeah, he's been falling. So
Yeah.
um, that's not great for best ball mania, but
But I mean, it's hard to predict that. I mean, why do
yeah,
you think Sanat's been falling? Just because like the realization that he's a rookie tight end and he might, start out slow or what?
I think he got the Laporta Kincaid bump. You know, coming out of the draft for
I see.
yeah,
Okay.
I think that's what it was, and I mean that definitely affected me. Like, I've definitely liked Sanat and clicking him, but
Okay. Do you think people are just kind of like coming back to reality and
yeah,
having more realistic expectations as the season comes closer?
yeah, and I think he's a good pick now for sure. But like a new price, but yeah, this is interesting. Like, holy crap, we picked Foreman like pretty early for this build, but I don't know who. Like, I hate Pierce like technically, but who knows? Maybe he's like the guy you need to like
When we picked
fill that
Foreman
role.
there, was that like coming fresh off of the news that like there's
Yeah,
no timetable for Nick Chubb to return?
I think
So
so. Yeah,
probably got a boost there. Yeah.
yeah, early June. I think so. I mean, honestly, for like if this tight end room can figure it out,
Mhm.
like this is a nice looking wide receiver room here. Glad we got some really cheap Polk. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the clear mistake in this draft, I think, is just going like double nuts QB. But at least it's like, hey, at least it's a unique build.
Oh yeah, I don't think too many people will do that, and I love that it's both quarterbacks with rushing upside. So it's definitely
Yeah,
a fun build.
yeah. I mean, maybe that has like maybe there's something behind advance rate where, hey, maybe these guys like can I smash at their ADP and like I don't know other people are missing it. I don't think it'll matter that much, but
Yeah.
it's certainly interesting. So
I mean, maybe you can kind of get lucky where like they kind of like alternate spike
okay,
weeks.
yeah, and maybe you're
And
just
so
getting like
like
30 points a
yeah,
week.
you're getting like 30 plus points out of your starting QB like
Yeah,
every week because like, they're just like trading off. So I think that would be really cool. So I mean, there's you can at least tell yourself a story like
yeah,
that where like maybe that's possible.
yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't definitely wouldn't. I don't think I'd do that again. But whatever we
Yeah,
were saying in the moment, we were rusty. I think we just were like, hey, like ADP value
yeah,
on Murray, let's just take him and then
yeah.
call it quits at quarterback. But
Yeah, I mean it's probably not like the smartest thing to do, but who knows? I mean, maybe you look back and it's like that ends up doing it. That ends up like winning it. So you just never
yeah,
know. So I think it's fun to like mix in some, take some chances on some things.
yeah, yeah. So shout out Terry Green who joined in here as well. We did just finish our draft. I'll show it back again. And you can always rewatch.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. Do we need to fire up another one? I mean, now we got, two people
I
in the chat here. We're starting to get some momentum here.
I mean we could always do another one. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there was like anything else. We would need some preparation. I mean, it could always be fun, but like I don't know. I haven't done any like eliminated or like marathon, so like I would definitely want to like do some research into that before just like taking them. Weekly winners can be fun too, but again, I mean we could do it on our BBM. I don't know.
I mean, Terry, let us know if you
Yeah,
want us to do another draft here.
yeah,
We're open to the idea. So yeah, let us know in the live chat.
yeah. If we got a couple guys in here. Oh,
Yeah, if
he's
you guys.
down.
Okay.
He's down.
I don't
Okay, I don't know if we can.
I don't think we can say no to that.
All right, fair enough. We got to do it for the viewers here. We
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
much choice. So,
Yeah.
Let's just see, catch up on the chat here. Yo, yeah, again, appreciate you coming in here, Andy.
Oh yeah, did you
So,
see Andy's comment about Sanat?
yeah, so what was he saying about Sanat? He was saying, okay, yeah, he was getting snaps at fullback. So, and then he fell. Okay, that's so funny because I know that's like a bit for like ship chasing. If you watch that, Andy, I assume you do because, you said you watch a lot of best ball content. Yeah, I mean, the like, I don't know, the Sanat being a fullback, I mean, that's definitely been a joke going around. Because I think he played, like, I don't know, he looks like, I think he had like a fullback number in college and like, he was actually lining up like at fullback, but it was just like tight end. I don't know. Yeah, it's if that's really why he's dropping. I mean, shoot, that's a pretty, I don't know, pretty dumb reason in my opinion. Maybe that
Yeah, I
just
mean, so
maybe he's getting
what do you make
carries.
of that? I mean, is that a real story that he's taking snaps at fullback? But is that just like something that they do in practice sometimes, but doesn't really like mean that much? Or what's your take on it?
Okay, he says he's waiting on 7 right now, so let's try to get in that. Let us know if we're in this draft with you, Terry. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, if he's really a fullback, I mean that's the stupidest pick ever, but that's just not gonna happen. So
Yeah, I mean that doesn't. I mean, yeah, who takes a freaking fullback in round two
yeah,
of the NFL draft? So I mean that
yeah.
would be like the dumbest thing ever. So
Hey,
yeah, it's tough to buy that. I think it's kind of similar to like these off-season stories where they say like, oh yeah, this running back is taking a lot of snaps at the slot, and they're going to use him more in the slot this year, and like
yeah.
it never happens. So like I'm not too worried about it.
Oh my god. We're picking
But
at 8 again, man.
oh come on.
I mean, I know I was complaining, but you can't make this
I
stuff
hate to
up.
sound like every other streamer, but like, come on.
No, like surely I think I picked at 8, 4 or 5 drafts or something crazy like that. So Terry, are we in your draft here? You gotta. I mean, maybe you're green bean. I don't know.
Yeah, let us know your
Is
name,
Terry
Terry.
Terry Green? Um, let's see. I mean, this room is just full of badges.
Oh, Terry says he's in it too. He's at the 2 spot.
Yeah, he is. So he is green bean. Okay, yeah, I
Oh,
figured.
sweet. Oh, awesome.
All right, awesome. So we got Terry in here, so we'll have to keep catching up on chat, and then yeah, I mean, hey, let's
We should
dive
keep
in round
tabs
2.
on what Terry's doing, and we can give some feedback on
Yeah.
his team as well.
I mean, hey, maybe he can give us some
Yeah, maybe he can give us some pointers.
some
Yeah,
feedback too. I mean,
we're open to it for sure.
all right, so I'm trying to get like the face cam. Oh my goodness, like this is just what is going on here? Having a seizure looking at all this. Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
gosh, so your cursor is.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, I apologize for anyone watching the screen. Okay. Starts off with CD Lamb.
All right, so what do we think of his strategy here? So we're at the 8 spot again. I mean, what do you want to do here since we're at the same spot?
Okay. Sorry, hold on. We got James Young coming in the chat. So welcome, James. Appreciate it. So first round success correlates to BBM final appearances more than any correlation. Yeah, I mean I guess that makes sense. I mean probably like first round and like your last picks for what BBM final appearances, like hitting on your first and last picks. If I had to guess, reach for a guy 8.
Wait, he's saying first round of the draft.
So yeah, like if your first round pick busts, I mean obviously you're at a massive disadvantage. So we just took AJ Brown. I mean I hate picking again at 8 hole.
Yeah.
I don't like.
So do we want to mix it up and take one of those other receivers, or who was the other guy we were debating between last time? Oh, Brees Hall was.
He just went. I mean, Bijan's up there. I don't know. I mean, who do you want here?
Michael Puka or Garrett Wilson, or do you want to take Bijan?
Honestly, you fine with Garrett Wilson?
Go with Garrett.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna get to James Young here. So he's said reach it at 8 if you have to. And yeah, I mean I don't know how much you mean by. I'm assuming you mean like Garrett Wilson territory. And one thing I was bringing up to Dan was that I mean it depends what round you're in, where you are, but obviously if you reach up on a guy, you gotta at different parts of the draft, you gotta take in the fact that so that player might just like lower in value or increase in value and whatever. Like someone might have the same stack but just like better. Or the same thing with like rookie running backs. Like we're a little hesitant to take rookie running backs if we don't know they're the backup. But I don't know. What would you say that taking Garrett Wilson at 8 is a reach. Like he's been kind of soaring up a little bit, and
I mean, it doesn't feel like a reach. I mean, I know you really have to like consider ADP a lot with underdog, but
yeah.
Is there a way we can use that to kind of like try to create like a unique build somehow, especially like in combination with our round 2 pick, perhaps?
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just trying to fix the. I realized what happened here. I make this camera smaller. So yeah. I mean, honestly, Garrett Wilson's been rising up boards. I mean, I've been really hot on Garrett Wilson here. So I mean, it's good to mix him in. Wow.
I mean, it's hard to imagine his ADP going down. I mean, I can't even imagine what would cause that unless like something happened with Aaron Rodgers. But
no, yeah.
I could see Garrett Wilson just getting steamed up as the season gets closer.
Yeah, Brown at 10. I mean, obviously it's only a couple or a spot of ADP. Oh shit, we're on the clock here again. Sorry, we're lacking. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're gonna take a running back here. I mean, Chris Olave is sitting here. It doesn't correlate to anything. We could do another car team.
or should we go Waddle? Or I mean, I'm going with Olave.
I'm honestly fine with Waddle, and we could play some Brown stuff. But
that'd be unique. All right, yeah, click Waddle.
Yeah. I don't know if that's. I don't know. I mean, that might be a little bit unique, I guess, right? With because like Garrett Wilson goes at the back of the first round. I mean, more so, and then Waddle's generally going in the back of the second round. So it is a little unique. Again, ADPs can shift in the next 2 months, but
right.
If anything, I guess it's just Waddle going higher. So
yeah. Also, same division for Dolphins and Jets, so they'll play each other twice. Maybe you get some shootouts there. Who knows?
Yeah, for some advanced rate stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Prefer the right side. So you prefer the right side of the board. I gotcha. I mean, I've just been preferring the left because, like, I'm not kidding you, Terry. Quite literally, we've been drafting. Like, we just drafted 8. We're drafting 8 again. I think I drafted 2 other Best Ball Mania teams at 8 and then 1 at 12. It's just, it's been unfortunate. Hey, appreciate you tuning in here, Andy. Hope you tune in next week there.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no. Good night, man.
Yeah, we definitely hope to see you again. We live stream every Wednesday night. We'll probably also do some more recorded videos and get back to that at some point. But definitely subscribe if you enjoy what you saw, if you got any value out of it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
What do you think, James, about the start here? Because, you said don't be afraid to reach. I don't know. I think it's like, I mean, obviously this is not going to be like extremely unique, but I mean, I can see this like combo being like probably one of like the lesser.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, honestly, I've watched a number of underdog drafts on YouTube, and I've
never seen this. Yeah,
specifically recall anyone ever coming out with Wilson and Waddle for their first 2 picks. I think it could be. Yeah,
people are gonna have it, but again, Waddle's been rising, and Garrett Wilson, like I don't know, we took him a couple spots ahead of ADP, so yeah, I think that's like a pretty good start for uniqueness there.
Also, like, there's some kind of sneaky upside if Tyreek ever got injured, or
exactly.
Who knows? Maybe I mean, is he like? Could he hold out with his contract? I know he's saying he wants a new one. Like, you never know. So, seems like there are a number of receivers that are like hoping for like better contracts right now. I mean, like CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. So I don't know what the risk is of any of those guys actually like missing games. I mean, it's probably not too high, but you never know.
Yeah, probably 0, but you never know.
You never know.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, honestly, I want to click Kyron so bad again, but like I need to do it like in the late 30s or mid to late 30s, and I don't know. I honestly think he's a great click there, but
do you think he's going to continue to fall, or do you think he's already kind of reached his basement, so to speak?
I think he's actually kind of reached it for now. I mean, obviously, pending more news, he can.
Sure.
But like, I mean, he was going 1-2 turn, so I mean, he's fell like quite a bit already.
Yeah.
Okay, we're literally looking at the same names again.
Okay, so we got 2 receivers.
We can go try to get like a Texans and then like a Flowers. I mean, that's pretty standard.
Oh yeah, because Ravens Texans playing in week 17. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Stephon Diggs here.
Yeah.
He's at the board.
Okay, yeah, Tank Dell went first. I mean, that makes our decision easy.
Yeah.
We got a couple young guys. Like, not that age really like matters, but some guys that can really potentially blow up more than we think. And then we're getting Diggs as a third Houston receiver.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Stephon Diggs is your wide receiver 3. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me.
Hey, yeah, I mean that's definitely a good start. Again, for uniqueness, I mean probably doing not too bad, which of course will be really important in this contest.
So
Here,
this is going to be like a AFC East All
dude.
Stars team, right?
I mean Diggs not
Oh wait,
on
no,
Buffalo anymore, but
Diggs is on the
I get
Bills
what you're
anymore. I was
saying.
thinking that. Yeah, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I was kind of hoping like Henry can slip, and I was like, if we could add Henry to this team as just like our stud like running back if he were to fall
Oh
somehow.
yeah.
I mean, I've seen him fall there, but yeah,
Mhm.
we're not gonna
Yeah.
get Zay Flowers. I don't think.
Mhm.
Here's
Probably.
like an interesting. Here's an interesting thought. I mean, again, let's see what's on the board. But like, if we really wanted to go heavy into some Houston, not heavy, but like you could reach on Mark Andrews, so I think that's like where he should be going. It's like around pick 41 anyways, and he'll probably continue to rise.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, would you?
I mean, why do you think Andrews will rise?
I mean, he's just like a name constantly being thrown out there. I mean, we can't take him over Laporta here, yeah, I guess, but and all these other names. But holy crap! I mean, I'll start Laporta. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mark Andrews. I mean, he was like, I think he was first or second in points per game at tight
Okay.
end. You know, I don't really see why he'd be slowing down. Maybe this could be like a likely team or something though, if we don't go.
If we don't get him, okay.
Yeah, I mean Laporta like might fall to us. Maybe this is I don't know what. I don't. Jeez.
Who did the Jags play Week 17? Because I see ETN at the top of the board.
They play the Titans.
Titans, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much ETN, but like, I don't know. I don't think we can pass up.
Yeah, I mean, if
Laporta
Laporta
if he's
falls,
there.
it seems hard to pass up. I do like ETN though. I mean, it seems like he can get a lot of
Oh my
touches this
God.
year.
I don't know. I mean, let's just do it, and then we can have golf. Like
Oh,
worst
yeah,
case.
we gotta take. Come on, we gotta take my
Yeah.
man Laporta
Dude,
here.
honestly, like you know what I'm scared now is like we might have to take the fact that when we're at pick 83, you know, we're gonna be like, oh man, do we gotta take Jamison Williams now?
Oh, okay.
That'll just be the worst.
I mean,
But
if there was any format to take Jamison Williams, it would be best ball.
yeah, unfortunately, sorry. Let's see let's catch up on the chat here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so divisional matchups are huge in best ball. I mean, it's yeah, exactly. Especially of course in like, sorry, I'm gonna put the camera in here. Especially of course like in playoffs. I mean, we know that, but I'd say it's a little underrated in like maybe some advance rate stuff where you know maybe you get like the Vikings, like Packers or whatever. Like maybe you get a lot of like divisional guys where they keep playing each other and you know let's just say it's Houston, I guess in this scenario, playing all their division mates. What if all those are shootouts and all of a sudden you have like all the right bets and your team's just going nuclear? So something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. I'm assuming we're not on the clock for a little while, right?
10 picks, so we're good. Yeah. So yeah, head start at wide receiver. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm fine taking elite tight end. I mean, I don't take any Laporta really, but when you get him as like tight end 3 off the board or 4, whatever he was, I mean, geez, easy click in that scenario.
Yeah. And James thinks that our start is not a common one, so he agrees with us
Oh, did
about
he say that? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to check out on Terry's team here. Sorry if we got distracted. But
yeah, for sure.
No, glad you're having fun and you know drafting on stream. We'll catch around I guess after our next pick and update what your start has been.
Oh yeah, definitely take a look at.
Let's take a peek here real quick before we get to the next comments.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know if that Laporta is like a good pick because like now we're out on Niners, right? It's just a good ADP pick, but
yeah, I think you just got to take the value sometimes.
Dude, Lamar is just sitting there. I mean, holy crap! I mean, we can play backdoor stuff. We can play Likely. We can play Devontae Walker stuff that's nasty.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, geez, if he makes it to us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with Lamar Jackson, and he's the type of quarterback that you don't necessarily need him stacked. I feel like because he's mobile.
Holy crap, dude! Like this is. I don't think we're gonna get him here. This guy's probably gonna take him.
Okay, so what's our backup plan?
He had Mark Andrews. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my God. we don't have a backup right now. I don't know. I mean,
it's a tough.
dude,
Like,
this is the same thing as last time.
Down. Yeah.
Oh no. I mean, we could go. We can go AR. It's in that same division.
AR. Go AR.
Okay, it's in the same division, and then we can play Downs or AD and Woods. It's like just.
Oh yeah, there's some options there, and plus, like again,
we do 2 QB build again. Yeah, that's. Yeah, dude, that's so funny. Like, for anyone that was here, like not in our last draft, we picked at 8, and we're looking at the exact same screen. I mean, Keenan Allen was there this time, but
yeah, it was the same like
the exact
uninspiring players at the top of the board. So it's like either you reach or you take someone that you're really excited about. So yeah, that's a tough one. We got to be more prepared for that. What round was that?
It was round 5, but
round 5. So that might be kind of like the tricky round that like we got to like think about a little harder and prepare for.
I mean, it's honestly just that we picked up the 8 hole and like twice, and then everything went kind of the same way.
And it felt exactly like it did in the last round. That spot. It was just like the same exact feeling. We're like,
it was, yeah. It was like we can't take Cook. Like we hated that, and then again he would have been like, oh no, sorry, again we're mixing, man. Yeah, okay, I'm confusing myself about this NFC East. I mean, Indianapolis and Texans are obviously in the South, so
yeah.
I was mixing myself up there for a moment, but we do have some divisional correlation. Maybe we can get some Vikings and Packers if we really want to lean into that. Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. All right, so we're up again in a handful of picks. Do we want to look at Terry's team or go back to the chat or just get ready for our next pick here?
Yeah, let's take a look at Terry's after we make our pick here. Sorry, because we got distracted again.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how, like, we have Laporta. I guess, like, again, I'm almost, like, leaning because this has been the theme for this draft so far is, like, guys in the same division.
Yeah, so
I was like Addison, but I might be like, these guys don't even play.
Like, you read my mind.
I'm like, these guys don't even play in like I think like the Lions and the Bears playing like week 16 or something, which certainly.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get there, right?
I don't know. I mean, dude, honestly, like this could be like a super receiver room if we want Odunze though. I know we want Addison. Like, do you feel any way about that or no?
I mean,
just rather have Addison.
Just like production his rookie year just doesn't feel like highly probable. I just feel Addison is just such a safer bet for production and
like spike
spike weeks. And if he takes a loop in his second year, it just seems like a much better bet to make.
I mean, I feel the same way. The only thing that's like leaning against like the ADP wise, where it's like maybe like Odunze goes nuts like at the end of the week or end of the year and is just like far better than Addison.
But like honestly, like I mean, I feel like McConkey projects a lot better for production his rookie season than Odunze. So I mean, I know you got to think about like ADP and exposure, but like I mean, I'd rather have McConkey than Odunze in this format.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to like just we could. It's so hard to like stack. I mean, just like these receivers against each other, and when you have like no like team tiebreakers, so obviously like Townsend. So let's just take a look here at Green's team here. All right, so he starts out CeeDee Lamb, obviously, comes back around, gets Mike Evans, DK Metcalf, so he gets a head on receiver.
Yep.
Pacheco. And
I like that.
I keep missing out on Pacheco because I don't pick here in this area, and like I think Pacheco's like literally the perfect start for. Yeah. I think he's literally the perfect like RB1 for these builds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Terry's a smart guy. He goes Calvin Ridley in round 5.
No. Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say he completely ruined it with Calvin Ridley.
No, Terry, you're a smart man. I like the Calvin Ridley pick. I mean, come on, you're getting the Titans' #1 wide receiver there, round 5. He's your 4th receiver. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean that's been a big topic conversation for us. I'm the Calvin Ridley hater.
Yeah. Okay, then Ramondre. Okay, yeah, I'm not a huge guy, but
Ramondre. So I mean, I don't know what DK's Metcalf is off the top, or I think that is like on ADP for Metcalf. Like off the top of my head, I mean, just I must go behind like Devontae Smith, but like I think Terry, you're the one that said like don't care too much about ADP. I mean, we're kind of seeing that now. I think you took Ridley a few spots ahead of ADP, like 6 spots. Ramondre is like ADP at 83, so you're trying to get a little unique. There you go. There's another one, Ferguson. So, I mean, you're obviously trying to mix up your board, which again, obviously is, a pretty effective tactic if you make the right picks and you get unique. But obviously, you risk you know what you're risking in the value potentially. But yeah, I mean, pretty unique start for you. We thought we had a unique start, but I mean, a lot of these players are not going to be stacked up all together on their board there. Sorry, we're coming back around here, so let's.
Yeah, and also I like the Ferguson pick by Terry. I think he's kind of sneaky this year. I think he could be really good this season.
Yeah, reaches up a little bit so he can go get Dak. So I mean, obviously makes sense. And start playing out that. I mean, it's interesting you didn't take Devontae Smith. I mean, maybe that's pretty chalky with Lamb and maybe like Ferg, but.
By the way, James Young said that we saved this roster with Addison, so he likes the Addison.
Oh, okay,
pick.
okay, nice. So hey, we're on the clock, so let's move quick here. We need an RB1. I mean, we could bet on Minnesota, but we like Ted Chandler.
Yeah, I don't mind Aaron Jones here.
I don't know. We could go Chandler later, and we just go Kamara now, or opposite with like Connor Miller.
I'd say Aaron Jones, but up to you.
Okay, yeah, let's just go Aaron Jones. I was always gonna click Kamara because, we both do like Ty Chandler. I mean, we're probably gonna end up with Connor Miller somehow on this roster now. I don't know. Yeah, I'll just it's a bet on Minnesota. So
yeah,
you're right on that one.
And also, we know. I mean, when Aaron Jones is healthy, he puts up fantasy points. So
yeah, exactly. So let's okay, we're coming back up. But let's
and then we'll catch up with the chat after that because I know James got some comments.
Yeah.
And
okay. Yeah. Let's just do our pick here. Again, we're pretty good on receiver. Like we literally have elite tight end quarterback. Like we're really good on there. I mean, we're basically just picking between receiver and running back. Honestly, I mean, holy crap, what a value on JSN.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, if he's gonna be there. That's easy. If not, we're forced to take a running back.
Okay, and so if we do take a running back, who do you like here?
I've been slowing down a little bit on Brooks because I mean for multiple reasons, but like I don't know, maybe I think just Hubbard potentially just a better pick right now, even though I have a decent amount of Brooks.
Okay.
I actually I like Zamir, I like Warren, I do not like Swift.
Yeah.
I'm fine pretty much just making it between White and Warren here.
I think I'd lean Zamir White, but I mean you could talk me into Jalen Warren.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Like we don't have any Chiefs, so we can definitely come out with like, there's potential we come out with like a Saint or something as a tiebreaker, and and we were already thinking maybe Conrad Miller's gonna like always be on a roster somehow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Conrad Miller's just like pencil him in.
Yeah, I mean touchdowns are worth a lot, and White. Might just start punching some in. So
it's worth some touchdowns for sure.
Yeah, I almost kind of like staggering like my running backs to like, okay, we just took Ramondre over whatever. We took Ramondre over White last time, but and those other guys, but like Jones is kind of like a pass catcher and stuff. So staying on a guy that's gonna get some nice volume is a good way to kind of compliment it.
And following up on the Addison comment, James Young also wrote, now you can take Dobbs, Wicks, Musgrave, whenever you want for full divisional coverage. So
yeah.
Catching on to our thing here with guys in the same division. So I don't know if there's any data on that to support that gives us a better chance, but we're kind of rolling with it here.
Don't forget about Khalil Herbert and Rashawn Johnson, baby.
Exactly.
You gotta get these guys going in here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's catch up. We completely missed James's comment here. We can't miss this one. I mean, Blake is so smart.
Blake
I can't agree with that more. I mean,
can't miss that one.
You take Kyler and Memphis. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like when he's sliding so much, I mean, he was just the 1-2 turn. I mean, really nothing changed. I mean, obviously Cornum's there, but I mean, I don't know if that really changes his ceiling. I mean, that's what you're drafting for. So when you're getting that huge discount, by the way, we are. Okay, if Keenan falls, you don't second guess it.
Yeah,
he did. He did fall, but we I think we took. Yeah, I think we passed up on, but we went with Addison, so he must have liked that as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Okay.
also, let's like read the comments out loud for any of
Hey.
our. I mean, and because I know sometimes like when I watch YouTube videos, like sometimes I'm not always like looking at the screen. I'm just like listening
Yeah,
to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. By the way, I don't know if Mostert's like still here, but like holy crap, like let's get Mostert if he's here.
Okay.
With Miami.
Oh yeah, right. Because of Waddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Then are we gonna try to get like any? Is there any Cleveland players we can get like Foreman maybe?
we could just end with Njoku. That's pretty heavy investment.
Oh yeah, I'd like
Fuck,
that.
like
Yeah,
he
we'd
just
be
went.
happy.
He just
Yeah.
went.
Gosh.
Um, receiver's disgusting. I mean, we need to take a running back basically again here. I don't feel too like strongly about Njoku when we have Laporta, so I think we need to.
Okay. Trey Benson, Pollard.
I prefer Pollard like
Okay.
for over Benson. I know we want to play the upside, but
Yeah.
we can play the same upside bet for much cheaper. I don't like clicking Pollard honestly, but
Yeah.
we don't have any Jags. I don't know.
I don't hate it though. I mean, he should be like the starting running back on the Titans. I think their offense will be a lot better this year. Of course, I like Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
That-
don't hate it. I mean, it could be kind of sneaky.
We just got Wandailed on that pick though, where we just
Yeah, I kind of felt
we
that,
just like
yeah.
were like eyes set on Mostert, and then it all just crumbled.
Yeah.
The other thing is like I wanted Brian Robinson really badly. Like I've been trying to go my way to get him because I don't know. He's just like I don't know. It's just maybe it's a gut feeling like Echoes potentially dust, but I don't know. I mean, he was like pretty good in the passing game, and I don't know. I think this offense can get a little bit of upgrade, and he's gone. So there goes my rant. But yeah, enough of that. I don't know. Like we could go another like crazy. I mean, this could be another 2-7-7-2 here.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Was Dontavian Wick still on the board? If we wanted to take the recommendation about staying with the NFC North, going with the division thing.
Yeah, I'd
know
want
we're
him
not
to
like
fall.
not like big Wicks guys, but I mean, I could tolerate it in best ball.
I don't feel strongly about Javante. I don't know, man. Like this is gross. This is terrible. I don't know.
Joku, go and
Yeah,
Joku.
yeah, I'm fine with that. That's a perfect time to take him.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah,
stop
but
at tight end.
definitely not a tight end. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like,
Let's just stop there.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like it's not that we like cared too much about these guys going ahead, but like I would have just insta clicked Brian Robinson just to like really load up. I kind of like doing that if you get like the the elite QB receiver tight end, and then you can just backload your running back room with all these like ambiguous and solid guys. But
Yeah.
and then you can just invest heavily at receiver. But hey, we got 11 more picks to figure it out, and probably can go back to receiver. So let's catch up here again. This is how people end up with Brandon Cooks wide receiver 5. I mean, that's how I end up with him. I know Dan will never have that, but I love me some wide receiver Brandon. Maybe wide receiver 6 Brandon Cooks, but
Yeah, and then it looks like Terry likes Ramondre Stevenson over David Montgomery. What do you think about that?
I mean, I know the ADP doesn't like agree with that, but I mean, yeah, I think that's like they're like 10 picks apart in ADP maybe, and like they probably should be going back to back. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's weird because I mean, Ramondre is like the starter of his team.
Yeah,
whereas,
yeah.
Like, David Montgomery is like technically like the team's like RB2, but like
one team's gonna score like the most, and one team might score the least. So
exactly. I mean, the Lions could be the best offense in the NFL. They use both those running backs, unless you think like Monty's going to be kind of phased out a little bit. But like, I still expect him to use both guys. They were both awesome last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like Montgomery. I'm not a big Ramondre guy, but I could understand wanting the teams like RB1.
Yeah, I definitely won't fault you for wanting Stevenson over Montgomery. I guess I can understand, like, because if Gibbs goes down, then, like, you're getting 30 carries from Montgomery, and, hopefully 2 touchdowns.
The other thing is Montgomery does hit an upside with the Gibbs injury.
Yeah, like, an injury helps Montgomery way more than it does Stevenson, so I guess the ADP is right in that sense, and, like, that's a really good game. I mean, you gotta factor that in as well. Like, that's a really heavily invested game. Also, don't let us forget, like, let's get Elijah Mitchell on this team.
Oh, okay.
I forget, we have Detroit, so, hey,
Yeah, Lions 49ers week 17.
By the way, it might be like, I don't know. Like, does it make sense to get any? Oh, there it goes. Anyways.
Oh, so we're on the clock here. So what are we looking at?
I'm gonna.
Henry Miller.
Okay. Here. Okay, here. Let me. We can go A-Rod and we go Mike Williams. I don't know. We're getting like a value on him.
Oh, anyone but Mike Williams.
No. Come on. What are we taking then?
Condre, just go Condre.
Okay, I'm taking Sharp. I'm taking Sharp. Condre, no. Here's why I'm gonna take Sharp, because we take Condre every time, so we'll take him at a value if he comes back around.
Yeah. Okay.
And like Sharp is like the same bet, and
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I don't think we even have the bear, but yeah, let's just take Condre next if
Wait, who do the Seahawks play week 17?
They play the Bears, so.
Bears.
Yeah,
okay.
It's unfortunately, this is not like, stacks aren't following up nearly as good as last draft. I mean, last draft was like literally textbook.
Yeah.
For that. So here's my thought though. I mean, we could take Mike Williams there because like we're actually like pretty far behind on receiver all of a sudden, but okay. I'm fine with it because this is the range where we can spam them out, and I feel just as good as like. I don't really think there's like too much of a difference between pick 100 and 140.
Okay, so who do you want to take here?
I mean, I think you know, like.
Oh, Polk, yeah.
Like, I mean, I love me some Polk, but I'm actually like fine taking Leggett because. Yeah. I mean, if he's not a 0. I mean,
yeah, I'm fine with Leggett, but it just seems like Polk just seems like a much safer bet. So.
I don't know how much we care about safety, but he does give us an option, just like if we ever want to click May for some reason. I mean, week 14
safety, I mean, for like production, best ball production, not just for like, each week or whatever.
No, yeah, I get what you mean. Like, he can hit the lineup more, but like,
yeah,
Leggett, we can't completely disregard that. Like, Leggett totally could.
Who makes more sense with like bringbacks or stacks or whatever?
Honestly, we're doing a terrible job on this draft so let's just take Polk and then figure it out later, right?
Okay. I mean, hey, it makes it.
Wait. We have AR. Like, we could take Downs. I mean, we're just completely overlooking that. Like, and then we could hope for.
I would go Polk. We got the Jets, Dolphins. Like, why not just go Patriots? But I mean, if you want Downs, it just doesn't like feel amazing.
Honestly, look, okay, I'm gonna force you into it here.
Okay.
And I know we were just crapping on him for anyone else here. We're just crapping him in his dynasty value. But what I will say is like I like Polk more, but we're getting a little bit of ADP discount. We have AR. I mean, obviously it's a bet for his legs, like mostly, but I mean to get one of the pass catchers to bring him, maybe bring a pass catcher with him in playoffs or something. We do. I don't know. Why not? There's still a chance, like. We really
I mean, if you want to get some Downs, I mean, you'd probably want to do it when you have AR and
he's a discount.
ADP, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's why I basically just like made you watch him like get auto selected, but otherwise we're not gonna have any like Downs in that scenario.
Yeah.
So okay, where am I? I'm just out of the screen, but.
Are we? Do we have a while till the next picks? What, 8 picks away?
8 picks. Yeah, this draft's going really quick. So yeah, Terry, you said Ferg's severely underrated. Yeah, I mean, I think as far as where he lines up with the tight ends, like I don't think he's like extremely underrated, but I don't know. Actually, I kind of like where he goes, but I mean, obviously, if you're gonna get in a situation where you get Dak, like I think Ferguson's like literally an amazing pick. Or if you like are playing in that game at all. If he's just, like, on his own, I mean, Bowers is cheaper, so, like, call me the Dynasty guy here, where I'm, like, caring about the age too much, but, like, I don't know, I almost, like, I think I like Bowers. I just price more if I'm just, like, randomly getting one, but
I mean, Ferguson just seems like such a better bet for production this season.
I mean, he's like the touchdown
guy.
Never
know. I mean, they're just such a crapshoot the rookie season. I mean, we can't like get too carried away because of like what Laporta did last season. And I mean, a lot of times tight ends aren't good until like year 3, year 4, year 5. I mean, so I love Ferguson. I mean, he was good last season, and he also kind of got hot at the end. Didn't he have like 3 touchdowns in the playoff game? Was it, or was it like one of the last weeks of the season? He had like 3 touchdown game. Yeah. And I mean, the Cowboys always have one of the best offenses in the NFL, and I mean, he should be like the number 2 pass catcher there, should he not?
Oh yeah, no, I mean he's still a great pick. Yeah, no, and I think he's like the touchdown upside is what you really want like from
Oh
him.
yeah, I mean, he had a ton of red zone targets, and I
Hey,
love Ferguson. I think he should only
uh,
be getting better. I mean, he's still a young tight end.
on the clock, like I think Thielen makes sense, like just again, but like just
Okay.
because like we need a guy that can just like get in this lineup and like we have some upside like spikes and we can dive into like you know.
Okay. What about, I mean, Burton could offer some fun spike weeks, but you don't think we really need that? I go
I'm letting it
Burton.
roll again. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I let it go, but I don't know. I mean, we have like some. I don't know. I guess like not as spiky as the last draft,
Yeah.
but my thought is like we could still take a young guy here, like Douglas, like I'm not, maybe not Bateman, but like Devontae Walker. Like we could take like some more like weird shots like that, where like Walker could be just as useful as like Burton.
I mean, I'm not a big Walker guy, so I mean, maybe that's
Oh,
not the best example, but
sorry, we never got Lamar. That's my bad.
oh yeah,
I was thinking like we got Lamar, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I
But
kind of
here's the thing: if you already have like receivers that are going to give like spike weeks, I almost feel like you need to like keep going with the receivers that have spike weeks because like you're going to need a spike week to like make the lineup against like other receivers that are giving you big spike weeks. If that makes sense.
yeah. Let me talk you into some. Let's get ready to learn some Week 18 slate in here. But like we do have an Indianapolis receiver and players. We could just go with like a Giants round 18 receiver.
Hmm.
You know, a spike guy. We don't have to take Wandale. We don't have to get Wandale this draft. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and I do like Wandale though, so I mean, you never had to like talk me into him, and it does make sense with
We,
the gold
I
stuff.
just feel like we have like he'll be the third Wandale on the team. You know,
Okay.
like slot guy, and you know, so like we just get like a guy that can line up outside and be a deep threat. Like I think it's just like a free Slayton at the end of the draft or something. Like kind of
Okay.
makes sense. Like just again, backdoor thing.
Yeah.
I know it's not like pretty, but
Right. Right.
I think we can wait like off RB5 until Elijah Mitchell.
Okay.
I just like what the hell are we gonna take here?
Hmm.
we
I mean, I think by default, you know, Wandale makes sense. I mean, who else are you going to make an argument for?
he's gone.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I don't know, man. Fucking Michael Wilson or something. I don't know. I mean,
Does anyone make sense for bringbacks or
no.
want to go to Marcus Robinson? Would that be a reach?
I was thinking of Marcus Robinson as well, but like I don't know. I mean, I think it's
I'm
just
going with
like
Michael Wilson. I mean, I feel like he's a good best ball receiver. So I mean,
we
who do the Cardinals play?
they play LA. I mean, this draft's like yeah, we have like no correlation.
Nothing's working out with
Yeah,
the bringbacks.
yeah, nothing is. I mean, what a terrible like. I blame it all on Laporta.
Yeah, is that where things kind of went awry?
Yeah, everything was great until we got Laporta.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, is there still a chance for this team? Or I mean, how much do you place on the bringbacks? No.
okay, sorry, we gotta go check. We gotta check Terry's. We just completely neglected Terry here. Ferg is the second mouse start. Yeah. I mean, no, he definitely is.
Yeah. Okay. So Terry agrees with me about that.
James,
Yeah. So,
James retracted something. Okay, so yeah, sorry Terry, we completely got distracted.
yeah, we're not used to having to like juggle so many different things, and you know,
Yeah.
it's awesome having you guys in the league chat though. So thank you again for joining us. I hope you're enjoying this live stream.
Let's like actually pull up Terry's team so we can actually like see it here.
Oh yeah. So what is he? Yeah. So the last we checked in, he'd taken Jake Ferguson. So what has he done since then?
Yeah, I mean honestly, just like looking at it in a vacuum, like I like his team a lot more than ours.
Okay.
Like, you know, he's got Dallas. He doesn't have any Eagles, but that's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty.
We got Dak and Ferguson stack. Oh, and CeeDee
Yeah.
Lamb. Okay. Oh yeah. So
Like-
that's really nice.
He has a really good receiver room, and like I like adding those like rookie receivers.
Yeah, Mitchell. Like that.
You know, he's obviously not playing anything to do with really ADP, but staying within the range, and then it gets Leggett. So
I think he took our advice about the divisional thing. He went with Ben Sinnott, so he's got the Commanders Cowboys thing going.
Okay.
So I like what you're doing, Terry.
okay, there you go. holy crap, and we might not even get Mitchell here, man. But like, I think Mitchell makes sense as like the RB5 because we have like 4 ambiguous like guys that like are gonna be scoring points every week, and then like if Mitchell is on the field, again Detroit, and bring back, we kind of need to bring back at this point if this team even has a hope.
Yeah, I'm good with Elijah Mitchell, but like let's come up with some backup options that we're considering as well.
Yeah, he's got 6 running backs, so we're good. But
we're gonna need another quarterback at some point.
Yeah.
I love Stafford, but we don't have any Rams. Do we? You're just taking DeMarcus Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, we maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think like.
Did we get any Jets? Garrett Wilson. Should we take Rodgers?
So yeah, I was thinking Rodgers, and that's why I was trying to tuck you into Mike Williams, though. By the way.
Yeah, I don't regret passing on Mike Williams.
Okay. Well, I mean, it was a value, and I know I get it. He's ugly and whatever, but I don't know. I'm not saying he's a good pick, but I mean, he could probably just like make your lineup, and he's got a huge ACL discount, so I get it. Like,
I mean, I've liked Mike Williams in the past, redraft leagues and everything like that, but I'm just kind of done with him. He's just. Coming off the ACL and going to the Jets. And, I mean, is he going to be healthy by week 1?
I mean, I'd say so. He tore his ACL like week 3. I was at that game, actually, so I think he I don't know, I think he'll be all right. I mean, this is such like a terrible, like, it's not like a terrible draft, like, players-wise, but, like, nothing, this team's not winning $1.5 million,
I mean, how are we going to save this team? I mean, is there any
there's no story
we can make at this point to just like try to like do something here?
Dude, honestly, maybe it's like A-Rod and Xavier Gibson is like the
Xavier Gibson.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I'm just joking, but
I mean, this is a chance to like take some risks here. You know.
Let me talk you to 20 picks behind ADP, Deshaun Watson. And then we go Elijah Moore. Like late. Okay. Right?
Wait, did Rodgers go?
Yeah. Shoot. Dude, I mean, I'm completely fine with Deshaun Watson as the QB2, the Russian.
Yeah, that's fine.
Njoku.
The only thing, though, like AR and Deshaun Watson, I both feel like they're injury risks, so.
Honestly, it doesn't even matter. Like,
yeah, I guess on this team, like,
if they're hurt, we're
whatever.
We're
just probably this team's probably not winning anyway, so just go for it.
Okay, here's our last 2 picks if everything goes to plan.
Elijah Moore. I mean, wouldn't you rather have like Cedric Tillman? I mean, based on reports.
No, screw it. I don't know. I mean, yeah, they're both disgusting, but like, I mean, we just saw. I mean, Moore can still earn targets. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit gross. I want to vomit.
I would take Tillman over Elijah Moore, and I've been the biggest Elijah Moore guy, but like I can't defend him any longer.
No more than. Quite literally, like anything else. Then.
Does Jalen McMillan make any kind of sense? Probably not.
I'm just gonna chuck.
Wait, we have Thielen.
I like McMillan. Thielen. Yeah, okay. McMillan makes sense. Like in that case.
Let's just go with the rookie upside. Put McMillan at the top.
Yeah.
I like that. Anyway, did we end up with any Ravens?
No. Oh no, we didn't. Yeah, I mean, because this was supposed to be a likely team.
Right.
Yeah, this is just a terrible.
Yeah, this draft was just like all over the place. I mean,
again, like we always could still go to Devontae Walker, and maybe he just like randomly appears.
I don't like Devontae Walker at all. I was completely out on him in Dynasty. I just don't see it with him.
I know, but you also got to remember, it's like we're not asking him to like do anything season long. We're just asking him to like literally score a touchdown in like week 14 or 15 or something like that. Like like we're just asking him to score a touchdown in like one playoff week.
But it's like, I mean, he's not even like a top 2 receiver for the Ravens, and like how many 3 wide receiver sets they even run. It just seems like such a like low, like just.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, that's fair. So we got. First good thing happened to us this draft.
Okay, awesome. I love McMillan. I love him in Dynasty, and I think he's a nice pick in redraft or best ball as well.
Honestly, like Laporta could be the worst pick if you like don't take any of those players, because like he then follows you on the right side of the board, and then you don't have any Niner or Lion,
right?
Unless maybe you took Gibbs. Like what a crap! Like I don't know. I just feel like that ruined everything for telling
Okay,
us
so
what
I mean,
story.
what do we learn from that then? I mean, do we have to like avoid the temptation of Laporta in that situation if he falls there?
I don't think it was like a necessarily like a bad like pick, but like just in general when we made it, but like everything crumbled behind that.
But I mean, did
For
the Laporta pick really cause that, or was that just the when it started? You know,
yeah, that's
I
when
think
it started, but so I'm gonna blame it on that. But
you're just gonna blame it on Laporta.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, something wasn't adding up there. Laporta, he started it.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, this is just like I can't really even tell myself a story of this team. It's not like it's that bad. Like it's still a solid team. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Like, are receivers that bad that we need another receiver here? Yeah, yeah, they're terrible.
By the way,
Though.
Terry says this has been fun. So glad to
Oh,
hear
okay,
that.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I
Yeah,
mean,
glad you enjoyed it, and yeah, you certainly have done a better job than us this round here. So
yeah,
or
this.
this draft. So yeah,
I don't think we. I don't know if we even showed Terry our other.
yeah. Should we check in on his team? Dude, I don't think we ever
Hey,
did that again. Oh wait, no,
we
we did.
will.
We did. We'll look at it at
Dude,
the end.
what about Oh my God, has Trey Sermon been picked? Oh no, he's right here. Like, is there? Is,
Sermon, yeah, I'd be okay with that.
like just because like the Colts, but then
Yeah, let's go with the Colts.
yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
like our receivers aren't even bad. It's just like none of them are really bringbacks, and like we don't have any Packers, we don't have any Bear. Like it's just God, like this. What a just yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
Get this draft
hey,
over with.
you know,
This is
sometimes you're drinking the wine, sometimes you're picking the grapes. So
yeah. So yeah, Terry says Laporta. Yeah, he occasionally falls the fourth. The problem that I guess I could have with our pick is that like I think he's gonna keep falling. So like, it might be a value right now, but
I wish
I
I wish trading was allowed. We could trade Laporta to Terry, and he'd get the. Oh wait,
no, that was
I
last
thinking?
year.
I was thinking.
Yeah,
I was totally thinking last year with the Lions Cowboys. Oh god.
I keep doing that with the Jets and the Browns. Like I keep
Oh
thinking
god.
they're playing week 17. So let's take a look at
That's hilarious. Yeah, I can't believe I just did that.
Terry. Yeah, I keep doing the same thing with a couple teams in Miami Ravens. Like I keep thinking them.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I was loving them last year. But
Yeah.
all right, let's take a look here. Big Colby Parkinson. Did you have any Rams investment, or are you just like maybe you're just like a Colby Parkinson guy?
Are you talking to Terry or me?
Terry.
Oh, okay.
So he
Well,
goes.
yeah, it's funny. It's funny that Parkinson comes up because like he's quickly becoming like my most owned guy in Dynasty. I added him in Blood, Sweat, and Beers, and I also just traded for him in NFL Madness. So I think I'm up to like 5 shares of Colby Parkinson right now. So like I'm all in. Like,
Yeah.
I mean he's like 6'7", he can run, he can catch, he can block. He's catching passes from Stafford. Great offense. Like, what's not to like about Colby Parkinson? I mean, Tyler Higbee. Like, who knows when we're going to see him? He's old anyways. I mean, I think Parkinson's the Rams' starting tight end for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, I like him a lot better in like best ball than I do. Him in
Like, yeah,
random like dynasty like
lineup
0.5 tight. Yeah, but I mean, I might have like one of them or something. Let's take a look here at. I mean, not much to say about this team. We had a lot to say about our last team. Terry, if you didn't see it, we went with like a little 2-7-7-2. Everything was just like tied together. I mean, tons of correlation, heavy investment in games, a lot of bringbacks. Just thought it went, really well for having a couple tough picks. I don't know. There's no story with this one. Let's take a look at your draft. Let's look at some positives. Maybe you're really happy with your draft, but let's take a closer look here.
Yeah, I like the Parkinson pick. And then does Terry have any like Rams or anything or any correlation?
I don't think he does.
Okay.
You just like Parkinson.
So, I like Parkinson in general. So I mean, I'm sure you got him late. So
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean Parkinson isn't getting drafted in every underdog draft, is he? I mean he's definitely going at the end and probably not always getting drafted.
No, not every draft. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the numbers are necessarily. But maybe like 50% or something.
Yeah, but see, that's what I like about him is that like not many people are even going to own Parkinson. So I kind of like him onto a roster.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely a benefit of drafting him. Yeah. So he goes Dak, and then bets on Will Levis with Calvin Ridley.
Oh yeah,
Again,
nice stack.
I think they're like a good bet in best ball. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm obviously in Dynasty. I'm not so much of a fan, but
yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, the running back room. I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
like the Jerome Ford pick.
Yeah, exactly. Like we like Ford a
Oh, and
lot.
he got Vidal. I kind of feel like Terry and I have like similar taste here.
Yeah, we like
Because with
Pacheco.
some of the players like Ridley, Parkinson, Ferguson.
Yeah,
I like the Cowboy stacks, Pacheco. So yeah, I feel like he's got good taste in players here.
yeah. I mean, I really like the way this running back room is constructed. You get your one top guy, which again I was saying Pacheco is like kind of the perfect guy. Stevenson's kind of like the perfect like quote unquote RB2 guy, and then you get like the cluster of these guys. Tank Bigsby, you must have some kind of feelings for Tank Bigsby. I don't think we do, but
I liked him. I liked him a little last year and was
well,
way wrong about that. So, but who knows?
he's a bring back is the
Yeah.
important part. So, it's probably I'm assuming that's why he took him.
Mhm.
So, yeah, receiver room started hot for. Yeah, I feel like these are again two good best ball picks.
Yeah.
When you go hot, probably. Yeah, I know it's tough with the construction. It feels like an extra receiver could have been added here, or like just a different time, maybe like a little earlier than Trey Tucker.
Yeah, I mean
But
Tucker's been getting a little hype lately. They're saying
has
he's
he?
going to be like starting in like 3 wide receiver stats. I think they said that he's going to be playing the slot, which is
Oh,
kind of weird because I mean I assumed that'd be Jacoby Myers, so
oh,
not sure what
okay.
they're thinking, but yeah, Tucker's been getting steamed up. I feel like a little bit lately.
Yeah, yeah, and then he goes Sanat again. Yeah, pick. I don't know. I can't see that 160 something.
Yeah,
Parkinson. Yeah, I mean obviously like a serviceable tight end room.
I
He
mean
likes Fred a
what I like
lot.
about that tight end room is that like Ferguson can carry you most weeks, but Sanat
Yeah,
gives you some fun upside, and then Parkinson's just kind of like that X factor that could be better than people expect and differentiates you from other teams that don't where Parkinson didn't even get drafted.
yeah. So he says he just recently started taking shares of Parkinson.
Yeah, I mean he's been trending on sleeper for a while. I mean he's been
Yeah.
like it seems like for the past like week and a half or so, like Parkinson's been in that like top 10, like trending up on sleeper. I think he's like top 5 right now.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm not sure like what reports are out there or like why Parkinson has been trending up lately, but maybe people are just kind of catching on finally and
Yeah.
realizing that hey, this is like the starting tight end of the Rams.
Well,
Like you
like
should,
he had a surge, and then no one really cared, and then dropped
yeah.
him, and then now he's like back again. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some reports, but
And then there's another reason why I picked him up in Blood, Sweat, and Beers. Because like I don't value tight ends a lot in that league because like there's no tight end premium and there's not a ton of roster space. So it's tough to roster too many tight ends. But I decided to pick him up because I am trying to like move, um, either like ideally in Njoku.
oh,
I
okay,
guess
all your tight ends.
I also have Ferguson. I'd be
Yeah,
open to moving him, but I think I can build around Ferguson. So I'm trying to move Njoku. And so like I don't want there to be like a really good tight end on the waiver wire that
yeah,
like someone could just I'll just pick up Parkinson because he has like 2 touchdowns against the Lions week 1. And then oh yeah, I don't need to trade for Njoku. So I figured like I would just kind of like do a little tight end hoarding and then maybe it'll be easier to trade Njoku. So
yeah,
that was kind of my thinking. Yeah, so I don't know how valid that is, but I'm taking a shot on that.
yeah. I mean, I see the reasoning behind it. So yeah, Terry, appreciate you like just of course jumping in here. And yeah, doing a draft was a lot of fun. I don't know. Hopefully you had more fun than us. I mean, of course we had. It was a good time, but I don't know. We just came from a draft where like things they may have felt a little ugly, but like, we were really happy with it. And then if you weren't here for it, you can always watch it back. And then just like nothing, I don't know, nothing was really connecting on this draft. Again, we were drafting on the 8 hole again, so we started different. Interesting how that panned out, but yeah, no, definitely solid draft for sure, man. I mean, I don't have too much problems with it. I guess again, anyone can critique any team. I mean, I'd probably say receivers a little weak. Funny enough, after you started out really hot, just because I'm not really a Calvin Ridley guy, there are still some question marks here. But the vision is AD and Leggett. outperform
Yeah,
MVP in that case.
I
You'll be
don't think you
fine.
need too much after like the first four guys you got. If you
Yeah.
got Lamb,
Maybe I
Evans,
just hate
definitely.
maybe I just hate Trey Tucker is what I'm saying here. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If Trey Tucker was, yeah, insert someone of similar going in a similar range that you like better, it would probably
yeah,
look a lot nicer. Yeah, so I'm not a big
yeah,
Tucker either, but I mean, in best ball, I could see how he makes
like
sense. I mean, he can have some big plays.
yeah. Throw Greg Dortch in there instead.
Yeah,
Stack with
exactly. It
Parkinson,
looks a
and
lot nicer.
all of a sudden it's looking hot.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, I definitely like the way the running back's room is connected to the tight end room, and then
but yeah,
obviously
I like swinging on the upside of like Leggett and Mitchell
yeah,
after like you go heavy on those like four receivers early. So like
yeah, yeah.
I like the build.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like actual construction, if we're take
Yeah.
a look away like a little bit from the names there too. Yeah, I mean that is how I want to build the receiver room. So, um, yeah, I mean, I think overall pretty damn good draft. I mean, I don't know after the end like, would you prefer his team or would you prefer ours? I mean, obviously we drafted our team, so we're extremely biased.
I mean, honestly, I'd probably take his team. Again, like I think we have like similar taste in players, and I like what he did with his team. So I'd probably take his. Yeah, ours wasn't
You know
the
what?
best, but it doesn't always come together every time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. His team's probably more likely to win than ours. I don't know. I don't know. I guess we drafted our team, so I'm actually still. I'm somehow leaning our team after how much I just dumped
Okay.
on it. There's still some upside. I'm still seeing the player upside cases, but just the correlation not there is all.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
feel like our team started well. I mean, I was really excited after we got started
yeah.
with like, three receivers, and it seemed
Laporte,
promising. But yeah,
AR.
just after that Laporta pick, it was just like
Yeah.
we were just like cursed after that.
Yeah. So he said he missed out on a few guys he was targeting. Had a
Hmm.
pivot. Yeah, so you prefer the right side of the board. I mean, it's not that I would say I prefer the left side of the board, just I never draft there. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I get it. If you like the right side of the board, then yeah, it can be annoying to draft at the other side. And it looked like you were drafting a lot of guys going off on the right side of the board. Um, in particularly in the part of the draft that we were paying attention in while you were going live. So,
Yeah,
maybe
but he
that
says
played into
the
it.
Trey Tucker hate is fair. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was,
hey,
it was round 18
yeah,
exactly. So
round
it's
18.
tough to criticize someone's pick in round 18. I think it was fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I mean, hey, we drafted Trey Sermon in round 18, so
Yeah, I mean
we
it
can't
gets
say
ugly.
much.
So what are you
Yeah,
gonna do?
it gets ugly fast. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, quick note here for you, Dan.
Yep.
On the Pro Hyatt train, I mean, look, he's not even getting drafted here. So, I mean,
Oh, okay.
low ownership guy.
Yeah.
Again, he could have been a guy we could have considered instead of Sermon, if like something maybe we remove a receiver and then. Yeah, we get him with that Indianapolis game, so something to consider.
Yeah, I could see it. You could
Um,
talk me into it.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, did Jelani Woods not get drafted?
Oh wow, no, somehow he. I mean, we should have had him. That's probably why. It's
Oh
'cause we had-
damn! And we had Colts. How did we miss that?
I mean, it's because we had Sam Laporte and David Njoku. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so that kind of screwed us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't our draft. I mean, that's crazy that Woods doesn't get drafted and we have AR. I mean, that just seems criminal.
Yeah, I mean, it's because we had AR, so I mean, that's why. Like no one else.
Oh, I see.
would-
That's why
would
he
have
doesn't get
wanted-
drafted. But yeah,
Yeah.
but it just seems crazy that like we don't take him because we're like boxed in from taking like.
Yeah, I mean, I
guess
like.
that's the gamble you take.
Yeah, like I liked the Njoku pick because there was nothing there that was like calling to us at all.
Yeah.
Nothing made sense. But then yeah, and then the boxes had us like Likely and like Woods that would have been like
Yeah.
really solid. So yeah, I mean that's just like sucks overall. But
So yeah, something to consider. But yeah, nothing was jumping out when
yeah,
when we took in Joker. He just seemed like the only guy that excited us at the time.
yeah. So you guys, sir. I don't know. I think Sermon. I mean, at Dynasty we've been scooping him up. I think he's your most owned player, Dan. Like obviously
Yeah,
free.
I traded away one share, so I think I went from like 5
okay.
shares to 4 out of my 6 leagues, 7 leagues.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I still like Sermon quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, he's actually a pretty sneaky, like, again, a guy that, like, maybe when you're doing the snapshot tournaments, like the puppies and stuff, maybe he's not getting drafted really at all. I mean, I don't know, it was ADP. Yeah, I mean, he's not really getting drafted, so I think he's definitely more effective in the snapshots, Terry, but, you sneak him into some BBMs, maybe his price, like, soars. Maybe, yeah, obviously, like, any starter can get hurt, but, like, maybe, like, JT gets a weird tweak, and then all of a sudden it's, like, Sermon hype train comes out of nowhere when he is the running back one.
Yeah, but it
we
does
can
seem
only
like
dream.
he's been kind of injury prone lately, so it just seems
Yeah.
like a high probability that Sermon makes some starts this year.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So middle positions, the draft is tough. It's tough because you can't predict what the hell's gonna happen in between your picks. You got to keep waiting 12 picks. Is why I think it's really tough. But I think you're rewarded if you have pick 5 or 6 because you get Jefferson or Amon Ra. I don't know. It feels like a pretty good price to pay instead of having to pick a running back to ruin your instruction or again I like the receivers behind Amon Ra, but I don't know. I don't know. I'd rather be a top 6 pick if possible, personally. But anyways, yeah, man. So we'll wrap it up there, I guess. I mean, this was a pretty fun stream, man. We had some guys check in. Obviously, we're a pretty new channel. Yeah, I guess this is our time to say, we go live every week.
Every Wednesday around
Yeah.
8:30 Central.
Yeah, around 8:30. I mean, it's never exact. Maybe it's 8 to 9 in that area. So, yeah,
exactly.
I mean, if you liked what you saw, drop a sub if you haven't already. Definitely appreciate you coming and hanging in, and always can just jump in more drafts with us. We're probably just gonna keep jumping in drafts. I mean, there's really nothing else to do, and for our dynasty stuff and whatnot. So
I mean, we'll definitely mix in dynasty talk with underdog drafts, and I mean, the season will be here before you know it. I'm sure some things will eventually start happening, and there'll be some things to talk about. So we'll definitely cover anything important that's going on in Dynasty, whether it's in the live stream or maybe we'll get back to doing some of the recorded episodes. But if there's anything that you guys want to see on the channel, let us know. Drop a comment or just put in the live chat. Let us know what you'd want to see. We're definitely open to it. And yeah, really appreciate having all you guys here. It's been super fun. We still have 4 people watching, which is awesome. I mean, this is definitely the most engagement that we've had on a live stream in a while. So yeah, shout out to Terry Green and James Young and who's the other guy? Oh yeah, Andy B earlier and anyone else watching. So
yeah,
thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, maybe hit the the bell so it'll notify you whenever we live stream, right? So that might be a good thing to do as well.
Yeah, no, definitely it would be good to see some familiar faces jumping in, and yeah, guys, it's always fun to draft. I had a guy when I was doing solo stream jump in a draft with me, kind of like you did, Terry, in BBM as well. So I mean, I don't know. I always think that's really fun to have someone jump in there as well, and we almost neglected you through half the draft there because we were so caught up in how bad our draft was, and
right.
I'm glad we got to come back around and cover you.
Oh yeah, the engagement was super fun, and I hope to see all you guys in future live streams. So.
Yeah. And then of course, if you guys like Dynasty, I mean, obviously you're a best ball guy, but if you like Dynasty too, of course we have videos and whatnot. So definitely check it out. But appreciate you guys coming through here. So we
so I guess we'll sign off here. But yeah, great stream, and look forward to more, and hope to see you guys again soon. Definitely next Wednesday.
Yep.